finde und hier nochmal ganz explizit hervorheben will und was mich emotional wirklich so sehr trifft, selbst wenn ich nur drüber nachdenke. Und das ist das Thema Kinderarbeit. Und ich glaube, wir alle wissen, dass Kinderarbeit existiert, aber dass sie so präsent, vor allem in der Mode- und Textilindustrie ist, das war mir nicht bewusst. Es gibt aktuelle Schätzungen, die besagen, dass bis zu 170 Millionen Kinder weltweit in dieser Industrie arbeiten. Und ich bin selbst Mama von 2 Kindern, 2 wundervolle Kinder, die ich über alles liebe. Und ich kann mir gar nicht ausmalen oder vorstellen, wie sich das für die Familien anfühlen muss. Und ich glaube, dass die wenigsten von euch über dieses Ausmaß Bescheid wissen, denn ich vermute, dass die wenigsten von euch Kinderarbeit gerne unterstützen oder überhaupt unterstützen würden. Also das ist für mich ein Punkt, den müssen wir uns echt vor Augen führen, weil wir ihn eigentlich mit jedem Fast-Fashion-Produkt auf irgendeine Art und Weise unterstützen. Und damit kommen wir zum nächsten relevanten Punkt, das sind die Treibhausgasemissionen. Und ganz ehrlich, ich hätte diesen Punkt never ever mit Fashion in Verbindung gebracht. Der Hauptverursacher von Treibhausgasemissionen bei Shein ist die Produktion. Aber auch der Transport verursacht ca. 1/3 der Emissionen.
Tut mir leid, ich gucke gerade bei Stanley und Stella, haben die Seite runtergenommen, wo steht, dass die stolz sind, mit in Bangladesch zu produzieren? Oder sehe ich das gerade einfach nicht? Da gab es doch mal eine extra Seite. Da war doch hier oben bei About Us. Also ich gucke gerade drauf, das ist ja das. Ey, falls ihr euch fragt, wo kommen eure Influencer-Klamotten her? Von allen Influencern, das ist jetzt Stanley und Stella. Die produzieren für gut 99%. Aber die hatten doch mal eine About Us-Seite und hier stand mal, wie komme ich denn über die Seite zu dem Link? Sustainability, Caring. Ah, da ist es. Ich schwöre, das war mal anders. Aber ja, hier, da ist das. Ich dachte gerade, ich gucke mal nach, ob die das immer noch machen. Okay, hier habe ich es jetzt. Okay, danke. Für wen produzieren die? Ja. Ja. Ich muss mal zurückgehen. Ihr stört mich. Ihr stört meinen Seelenfrieden. Und jetzt meine Ruhe jetzt. Ich will mal kurz zurückgehen. Wir müssen da mal zuhören. Das ist wichtig.
Und damit kommen wir zum nächsten relevanten Punkt. Das sind die Treibhausgasemissionen. Und ganz ehrlich, ich hätte diesen Punkt never ever mit Fashion in Verbindung gebracht. Der Hauptverursacher von Treibhausgasemissionen bei Shein ist die Produktion. Aber auch der Transport verursacht ca. 1/3 der Emissionen. Alles muss super schnell verfügbar sein und aus Asien irgendwie nach Europa transportiert werden. Und das wird meistens mit dem Flugzeug gemacht. Und das Schlimmste für Unternehmen in der Fast Fashion und
Arm Angels produzieren zum Teil in Istanbul. Was hältst du davon? Ich weiß nicht, wie ich zum Teil deuten soll. Die Türkei ist ein beliebtes Produktionsziel. Das kann gut sein, das kann aber auch schlecht sein. Das Problem ist, dass es, ein Kollege von mir hat das mal gesagt, das Problem an dem Produktionsstandort in der Türkei ist, dass das so ein bisschen wie auf dem Basar ist. Also du kriegst alles Mögliche an Angeboten, das kann krass sein und das kann aber auch richtig scheiße sein. Nicht, weil das Angebot scheiße ist, sondern weil die Umstände um die Angebote scheiße sind. Da muss man sich halt extrem darüber informieren, wie genau das funktioniert und wie genau das abläuft. Das heißt nicht zwangsweise, dass das schlecht ist, aber der Standort selber ist jetzt kein Merkmal darüber. Muss jetzt aber auch nicht super bad sein tatsächlich. Um das mal in eine konkrete Sache zu machen, wenn ich ein Textil sehe, das in der Türkei produziert ist und ein Textil sehe, was in Bangladesch produziert ist, dann würde ich das Türkei produzierte Textil wahrscheinlich immer vorziehen. Wenn ich ein Textil sehe, das in Portugal produziert ist und ein Textil sehe, das in der Türkei produziert ist, würde ich das Textil in Portugal immer vorziehen. So nach dem Motto. Und dann gilt es auch nicht, dann ist auch Polen und so egal und dann ist alles, was in der Europäischen Union ist, eigentlich schon auf einem selben hohen Level. Also wenn es aus Spanien kommt, wenn es aus Portugal kommt, wenn es aus Polen kommt, wenn es aus Deutschland kommt, das hängt immer ein bisschen davon ab.
Ultra-Fast-Fashion-Branche wäre wohl, wenn ein Produkt mal nicht mehr verfügbar ist. Das bedeutet, es wird stetig überproduziert. So extrem, dass teilweise bis zu 40% der produzierten Ware niemals die Produktionsstätte oder das Lager verlässt. Wir haben ja eben schon gehört, dass auf Ultra-Fast-Fashion-Seiten wie Shein teilweise bis zu 10.000 neue Designs täglich online.
Das ist, wie du sagst, die Türkei variiert extrem nach Standort. Hab Familienmitglieder, die in der Textilindustrie arbeiten. Osten der Türkei soll nicht so gut sein. Ja, darum möchte ich aber auch, ich möchte nicht pauschal Türkei als das ist schlecht sagen. Das ist es nämlich nicht. Es ist nur leider sehr durchmischt. Sehr, sehr durchmischt.
Gestellt werden. Und dieses endlose Angebot erzeugt beim Endkonsumenten das Gefühl, dass man ständig etwas Neues braucht. Und dann ist es irgendwie auch logisch, dass Leute sich denken, hey, warum soll ich mein altes Shirt von vor 2 oder 3 Wochen überhaupt noch tragen? Es gibt mittlerweile schon wieder 20 neue Trends und zehntausende neue Angebote, die man shoppen kann. Und somit wird Mode irgendwie total wertlos und Kleidung wird irgendwie eher zu Abfall.
Wie geht das? 10.000 neue Designs täglich. Das ist crazy. Es gibt ein fantastisches Video, das ich gerade nicht parat habe, zu dem Shein-Modell. Shein hat eigene Fabriken. Also die arbeiten nicht mehr mit das ist ja in der Textilindustrie ist es normalerweise so, dass man so Zulieferer hat und dann alles über Produzenten macht und die ein bisschen unabhängig sind und da eigene Verifizierungen sind. Shein hat gesagt, nee, wir haben eigene Fabriken in Niedriglohnländern und dann gucken die, dann haben die eine, sagen wir mal, ein Inspirationsteam. Dieses Team oder diese Leute scouten den gesamten Fashionmarkt. Alles in einer Frequenz, in der man sich das nicht vorstellen kann. Wahrscheinlich auch unterstützt von Technologie, künstlicher Intelligenz wird das alles ein bisschen schneller machen. Und diese Industriespionage, wenn ich sie mal so nennen sollte, sorgt dafür, dass in einem dieser Fabriken in schnellster Manier ein Teil oder ein Piece oder ein Modestück kopiert wird, in Minuten förmlich. Und da wird ein Auftrag ausgelöst und dann wird auf der Webseite durch diese unglaubliche Dynamik der eigenen Fabriken, der eigenen Mitarbeiter, sofort dieses Piece angeboten. Also das Video, was ich da gesehen habe, hat von Tagen gesprochen. Also es kommt irgendwas raus, 1, 2, 3 Tage später ist das bei diesen Anbietern auf der Seite. So schnell geht es. Und das war mal langsam und das wurde immer schneller, weil die natürlich immer mehr diese eigene Infrastruktur hatten. Das ist unvorstellbar. Also, wir sind jetzt an dem Punkt, und das sagt ja Bibi auch, da sind wir an dem Punkt, an dem so viele Pieces und so viele Dinge inspiriert übertragen werden. Am Tag können wir bis zu 10.000 Artikel erscheinen. Das ist insane.
Wo mehr konsumiert wird, wird auch mehr weggeworfen. Und um euch dafür mal ein bildliches Beispiel zu geben, in Europa kaufen die Menschen durchschnittlich ungefähr 19 Kilo Klamotten im Jahr. Das entspricht ungefähr einem großen Reisekoffer voll. Und sortieren ungefähr exakt genau die gleiche Menge pro Jahr auch wieder aus. Und diese gigantischen Dimensionen kann man sich gar nicht vorstellen, bis man mal solche unfassbar schockierenden Bilder sieht. Denn tatsächlich werden wöchentlich bis zu einer halben Millionen Altkleider auf solchen Deponien entsorgt. Früher gab es dafür noch einen richtigen Markt. Es wurde als Second-Hand-Ware weiterverkauft oder geupcycelt. Aber mittlerweile sind die Produkte, die dort ankommen, zerrissen, haben so eine schlechte Qualität, dass man damit nichts mehr anfangen kann. Und dieser Markt existiert vor Ort eigentlich nicht mehr.
Ja, ist nicht mehr da. Kannst auch nicht. Das muss man ja auch sagen, diese Altkleidercontainer oder diese Idee davon zu sagen, ja gut, ich spende meine Klamotten, ist ja ganz löblich. Aber die Klamotten, die jetzt produziert werden, willst du halt niemandem mehr spenden. Die sind zu 90% sind sie aus Plastik oder zu 70%, wie wir gesehen haben, sind aus Plastik, aus irgendeinem billigen Polyester, sind vollgezogen mit irgendwelchem Schweiß. Selbst wenn du es wäschst, kriegst du den Geruch nicht mehr raus. Das ist alles synthetischer Müll. Und die Leute benutzen die Altkleidercontainer nicht mehr als, wir können unsere alten Klamotten an jemanden spenden, sondern die benutzen Altkleidercontainer wie eine Restemülltonne. Bloß eben das Problem ist, in der Restemülltonne wird der Stoff eventuell entsorgt und verbrannt oder wer weiß was und damit ist gone. Ist auch schlimm, also was heißt, macht ja auch Dreck, aber ihr versteht, der Altkleidercontainer, der exportiert den Müll. Nicht gänzlich, aber zu einem gewissen Teil und dann landet der hier.
Und das ist eben der Fast Fashion verschuldet, weil die Qualität immer schlechter wird, dadurch, dass immer alles schneller und günstiger produziert werden muss. Und wenn wir schon beim Thema schlechte Qualität sind, die Qualität ist so schlecht, dass nur 1% der Kleidung überhaupt recycelt werden kann. Und
Ja, Recycling ist ja auch nicht gut.
Der komplette Rest landet einfach im Müll. Und
Seit diesem Jahr darf man Kleidung nicht mehr im Restmüll entsorgen. Das ist auch ein Problem. Ja, wo macht man das dann hin?
Auf solchen Deponien. Und dieses Ausmaß ist einfach unvorstellbar. Um ehrlich zu sein, wusste ich überhaupt nicht, dass sowas irgendwo auf der Welt überhaupt existiert. Schaut euch bitte diese...
Nur noch Altkleider? Oder am Wertstoffhof dann, oder? Alter, guck dir mal diese schönen Berge. Oh mein Gott. Der Geruch, Bruder. Krank.
Kranken Kleiderberge an, wo teilweise sogar Tiere drauf rumlaufen und leben. Und diese ganzen Haufen liegen nicht nur da, sondern werden eigentlich irgendwann auch versucht zu verbrennen, denn die Masse muss sich ja irgendwie reduzieren und das Ganze direkt neben bewohnten Dörfern. Man kann sich das gar nicht vorstellen.
Ja. Es gibt diesen indischen Ort, in Indien ist das, wo diese Mülldeponie ist, die zu einem Berg gewachsen ist. Mehrere Meter hoch. Ein Berg. Einfach ein Berg. Ich glaube, Ghazipur wäre der Name. Bin mir nicht sicher. Das ist unfassbar. Unfassbar. Der Müllberg von Ghazipur ist unfassbar. Ist unfassbar. Kurze Frage zu Gamschutz. Mein erstes schon leicht ausgewaschen. Kannst du einen Tipp geben? Hilft da auf links drehen? Ja, steht auch auf dem Label. Auf links drehen.
Und das Schlimmste daran ist, oft werden solche wilden Deponien direkt neben zum Beispiel Flüssen stationiert. Denn wenn dann die Flut kommt, tragen...
Grundsätzlich ist das immer bei jeglicher Form von Textil. Immer von innen nach außen drehen, bevor man das wäscht. Also grundsätzlich.
Die Flüsse, die
Bei jedem Print. Alles. Immer.
Kleidung immer...
Mein Gott, guckt euch das an, Chat.
ein Stückchen mehr ins Meer.
Als Einzelhändler kann ich dir auch sagen, dass Kunden ein Teil des Problems sind. Ich kann gar keine hochwertige Ware mehr verkaufen, weil ich seit einem Jahr genau heute nur noch höre, bekomme ich günstiger bei Shein. Oder, das ist doch Shein, warum soll ich dafür so viel bezahlen? Und das zu in Europa produzierter Ware, es macht null Spaß. Verstehe ich vollkommen, aber da muss man einfach durchziehen. Muss man einfach durchziehen. Es gibt immer wieder solche Leute und ich glaube, da sollte man sich nicht drauf konzentrieren, sondern man sollte sich darauf konzentrieren und zu sagen, nee, das ist es nicht. Die Konditionierung, die da stattfindet, ist halt lange auch schon in Gange und es gibt Leute, die lernen da auch nicht raus. Das ist, was willst du machen? Was willst du machen? Aber ich bin persönlich der Meinung, dass es Alternativen geben muss und dass Leute auch verstehen. Und wenn es Menschen gibt, die sagen, sie können sich das nicht leisten, kann ich das vollkommen nachvollziehen. Aber wenn es Leute gibt, die auf Basis von so einer Konditionierung unterwegs sind, dann ist doch egal. Diese Qualität spricht für sich. Ich weiß das doch selber. Wir sind jetzt seit einem Jahr am Start. Und ich kann mich an nahezu jeden Mangel, der uns gemeldet wurde, erinnern. Also es gibt, an der Zahl sind es, glaube ich, so um die 10 Mängel, die uns gemeldet wurden, von all den tausenden T-Shirts und Artikeln, die wir verkauft haben. Und diese Mängel sind im Rahmen eines Produktionsprozesses mal ein Faden, der sich löst. Oder ein Stick, der sich auflöst. Und wir tun unser Möglichstes, um den Leuten dann zu helfen. Aber ich kann das halt an 2 Händen abzählen. Und das erreichst du einfach nicht, wenn du so eine Billigschnitze produzierst. Darum sage ich, wenn ich sowas höre, Alter, durchziehen. Sowas trägt sich. Qualität zeichnet sich aus, wenn Leute merken, dass sie ein T-Shirt kaufen und sie nächstes Jahr dieses gleiche T-Shirt noch tragen können, ohne Probleme, dann ist das ein gutes Zeichen. Und dann wissen die auch, das ist halt, das ist gut. Wir hatten mal, das ist crazy, eine Situation, da hat jemand Schmuck getragen, ich habe davon mal erzählt, ich habe auch die Bilder gezeigt. Da hat jemand Schmuck getragen von so einer Kette, die irgendwie so also Blechschmuck, könnte man fast sagen. Die war nicht besonders hochwertig und durch den Körper, durch den Schweiß hat sich das auf das Textil übertragen und dann ist das Textil so durchgeblutet. Also das war dann so ein roter, da gab es dann auf dem schwarzen T-Shirt so einen roten Punkt. Und wir haben dann gesagt, okay, Kunde hat uns geschrieben und gesagt, okay, was machen wir? Und ich so, okay, ist interessant. Ich habe gesagt, hey, wenn du willst, das ist so ein hochwertiges Textil, du kannst das easy einfärben. Und ohne Probleme, sollte nichts mit passieren, du kannst es halt einfärben, wenn du das möchtest. Es gibt jetzt also in Deutschland 2 T-Shirts, ich glaube eins oder zwei, mindestens ein T-Shirt, das so ein Anthrazit Gottlos auf Mutter Mephisto-Shirt ist. One of one. Die Person hat das halt zum Färben gegeben und die haben das eingefärbt und das gesamte Ding ist so eine schwarz-weiß, als wäre da ein schwarz-weiß-Filter drüber gelegt, aber das kann man halt tragen, easy, entspannt. Sah so krass aus, ich habe es dir auch gezeigt, ich habe das Bild gerade nicht da, ich müsste danach suchen. Aber das war insane. Ich habe sogar hier. Ich hab's doch hier, Chat, warte, ich zeige euch das. Euer Bild ist das ist hier, da wo die Kette runterhing, durch diese Oxidierung und dann auch den Waschvorgang, dass sich dann hier so einen kleinen roten Fleck ergeben hat. Und dass das so durchgeblutet ist, haben wir dann gesagt. Und dann, wenn man sagt, okay, müssen wir was machen, versuch mal zu färben. Und dann wurde aus dem rosa Shirt mit Backprint ein Anthrazit-Shirt mit Backprint. No? Ist halt one of one, läuft irgendwo rum. I don't know. Grüße geht raus, wenn man dies mal sieht. Also übelst sick. Geht halt, ne? Print ist stabil geblieben, ist nichts groß abgeblättert, Färbung gut überstanden. Easy. Das Ziel ist es also, so einen Stoff halt einfach so lange wie möglich am Leben zu erhalten, damit die Leute das so lange wie möglich tragen. Und das ist halt mein Job. Ich will das. Ne? Und das heißt nicht, dass alles perfekt ist. Das passiert mal. Man passiert in der Produktion, dass man einen Faden löst, dass irgendwo mal ein Dings irgendwie ist. Und das ist halt, ne? Darum geht's. So soll man es sein.
Ja, und sie sind das Problem vor Ort los.
Damit die Scheiße nicht da landet am besten, ja?
Kommen wir direkt zum nächsten riesengroßen Problem. Denn die meisten dieser Kleidungsstücke bestehen aus Synthetikfasern, also Plastik. Und Greenpeace-Tests zeigen mittlerweile, dass 89% der Altkleider auf solchen Deponien aus synthetischen Fasern bestehen. Und jetzt haben wir hier ganz unterschiedliche Aspekte, denn
Das erste Shirt habe ich seit letztem Jahr zum Job gekauft und seitdem Minimum einmal die Woche getragen und in die Wäsche. Immer noch ultra gut. Ja, freut mich. Umso besser. Darum geht's ja.
logischerweise gelangt das Mikroplastik einmal durch das Waschen unserer Kleidung direkt ins Wasser. Und auf der anderen Seite, also in Ländern wie zum Beispiel Ghana, wo diese ganzen Mülldeponien liegen, gelangt das Mikroplastik einmal über den Boden ins Grundwasser. Übrigens nicht nur das Mikroplastik, sondern auch die ganzen Chemikalien, von denen wir eben geredet haben. Und als zusätzliche Komponente durch die Gewässer und Flüsse eben auch ins Meer. Und das wiederum ist mittlerweile so extrem, dass Mikroplastik selbst in der Nahrungskette der Menschen vor Ort wiederzufinden ist und somit zu richtig schädlichen und gesundheitlichen Risiken führen kann. Zum Beispiel durch den Fisch, den sie aus dem Meer essen, oder durch das Wasser, was sie vor Ort trinken, oder zum Beispiel zum Bewässern ihrer Pflanzen benutzen. Und jetzt kommen wir wieder zu einem Fakt, der mir sowas von nicht bewusst war und den ich so krass finde und euch vermutlich auch nicht bewusst ist.
Ich habe jetzt schon 4-mal diesen Witz gesehen. Sag mal, ist das Bibi? Nein, das ist Stay. Alter, das ist Bibi, ja. Lasst euch von den Leuten nicht verarschen, Alter.
Aufgepasst! Textilien sind einer der Hauptursachen für Mikroplastik im Meer. Ich finde das so verrückt, daran hätte ich niemals gedacht. Bis zu 35% der jährlichen Mikroplastikverschmutzung wird durch Textilien verursacht. Und für alle Leute, die es immer noch nicht gecheckt haben, Mikroplastik ist nicht biologisch abbaubar. Es bleibt einfach jahrhundertelang bestehen und findet auf irgendeinem Kreislauf immer wieder den Weg zu uns zurück.
Das Verrückteste, was ich an Müll in Wasser gesehen habe, oder was existiert, ist die Müllinsel. Also die Ansammlung im Pazifik meines Wissens, im Pazifik die Ansammlung von Müll durch Strömung, das sich zu einer Insel geformt hat. Zu einer physischen Insel, die man aus dem Weltall sehen kann. Die ist so groß wie ein Land. Aus dem Weltall. Eine Insel. Und ich meine nicht die Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Ist auch Müll, aber ist ein anderer. Ich meine, es gibt sogar einen Namen für Jet, aber mir ist er entfallen. Es gibt auf jeden Fall eine Ansammlung von Müll, der durch das Wasser treibt, der sich halt an Strömungspunkten, der zusammenkommt und sich dort halt absondert und dann immer wieder und immer größer wird. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Oh mein Gott, es gibt wirklich einen Namen dafür. Oh ja. Der große pazifische Müllstrudel oder auch pazifischer Müllwirbel ist ein Müllstrudel, eine Ansammlung von Meeresmüllpartikeln im zentralen Nordpazifik. Er entstreckt sich etwa zwischen Koordinaten. Die Ansammlung von plastiktreibendem Müll stammt aus dem pazifischen Raum. Obwohl die Öffentlichkeit den Müllteppich immer gemein als riesige Insel aus treibendem Müll wahrnimmt. Digga, was? Oh mein Gott. Verhindert seine geringe Dichte, 4 Partikel pro Kubikmeter, die Erfassung durch Satellitenbilder. Also doch nicht durch Satellitenbilder, sorry. Forscher des Ocean Cleanup Projektes gaben an, dass der Müllstrudel im großen Pacific Müll-Dings da 1,6 Millionen Quadratkilometer umfasst. Ich lache, aber es ist einfach crazy, Bro. Da ist einfach so ein kleiner Müllteppich. Der liegt da einfach rum auf dem Pazifischen Ozean.
Und damit stehen wir aber vor der großen und sehr wichtigen Frage, was machen wir jetzt am besten mit Kleidung, die wir aussortieren?
Wenn wir unsere Kleidung in den Altkleidercontainer werfen hier in Deutschland, ist es so, dass tatsächlich 60% davon exportiert werden. Häufig in Länder des globalen Südens. Viel landet zum Beispiel in Ghana. Ja. Und da ist es dann so, da gibt es Märkte, wo dann die Menschen ballenweise die Altkleider kaufen. Und die gehen dann diese Altkleider durch und gucken sich an, was davon ist noch zu verwerten und was ist nicht zu verwerten. Und einige Sachen werden dann vielleicht repariert oder so wie sie sind halt auf den Märkten weiterverkauft. Der Anteil der Sachen, die für sie uninteressant werden, steigt gerade rasant an, einfach weil es viel kurzlebige, billig produzierte Fast Fashion ist.
Das bedeutet, was gehört in den Container? Kleidung, die unserer Meinung nach eine ausreichend gute Qualität haben und vor allem die nicht kaputt ist, sprich Sachen, die wirklich weiterverwendet werden können. Und alles andere sollte eigentlich einfach in den Restmüll, denn da wird es wenigstens kontrolliert verbrannt und gelangt nicht zusätzlich noch als Mikroplastik in die Umwelt. Und
jetzt habe ich aber gehört, dass das nicht mehr in den Restmüll darf. Jetzt muss ich kurz mal gucken. Deutschland. Muss mal gucken, sonst kommt Schweiz bei mir raus. Nee, es geht anscheinend immer noch. Der Norddeutsche Rundfunk schreibt, es gibt seit diesem Jahr eine EU-weite neue Richtlinie für Altkleider. Textilien müssen im Altkleidercontainer entsorgt werden. Theoretisch auch, wenn sie verschmutzt oder kaputt sind. Doch ist das wirklich so? Die neue Richtlinie, nach der Altkleider künftig nur noch über den Altkleidercontainer entsorgt werden dürfen, sorgt derzeit für Verwirrung beim Verbraucher und Sorge bei gemeinnützigen Organisationen, die Altkleider sammeln. Denn beschädigte oder nicht mehr nutzbare Textilien können nun zunehmend im Altkleidercontainer landen. Denn die EU-Richtlinie unterscheidet nicht explizit zwischen noch tragbarer Kleidung oder kaputter oder stark verschmutzten Textilien. Letztere soll aber weiterhin über den Restmüll entsorgt werden, stellt die Verbraucherzentrale Hamburg klar. Zitat: Auch wenn die EU-Abfallrichtlinie und das Kreislaufschutzwirtschaftsgesetz gegen etwas anderes vorschreiben. Eine getrennte Sammlung beschädigter Textilien ist derzeit weder ökologisch sinnvoll noch technisch realisierbar. Denn bislang hat sich noch kein funktionierendes Recycling-System für die Aufbereitung von Alttextilien etabliert. Da Kleidung heute häufig aus Mischfasern besteht, ist die Wiederverwertung alter Fasern momentan noch aufwendig und teuer. Daher entsteht bisher nur 1% der neuen Kleidung aus Alttextilien. Gemeinnützige Organisationen wie die Deutsche Kleiderstiftung bitten daher auch künftig nur brauchbare und noch tragbare Altkleider in entsprechenden Container zu werfen. Also kaputte Kleidung, unbenutzbare Kleidung weiterhin in den Restmüll und brauchbare, nutzbare Kleidung in den Altkleidercontainer.
vielleicht kommt langsam nach all diesen krassen und schockierenden Fakten, die du gehört hast, die Frage in deinen Kopf, aber was kann ich denn besser machen und worauf muss ich achten? Und ich kann ganz klar sagen, das Nachhaltigste, was wir in dieser Welt konsumieren können, ist immer das, was schon existiert. Denn dafür brauchen wir keine neuen Rohstoffe und wir verbrauchen so gut oder fast keine neue Energie und haben so gut wie keine CO2-Ausstöße. Auf jeden Fall deutlich geringer, als wenn wir neue Ware konsumieren würden. Das heißt, wir können uns zum Beispiel in Second-Hand-Stores umschauen, auf Flohmärkten uns umschauen, Kleidung tauschen mit Freunden, Bekannten der Familie. Es gibt sogar mittlerweile Optionen, dass man sich Kleidungsstücke ausleihen kann. Finde ich auch eine richtig coole Option, vor allem für Sachen, die man einfach nur einmal oder super selten trägt. Und abgesehen davon gibt es natürlich mittlerweile auch einige Modemarken, die sich das Thema Slow Fashion auf die Fahne geschrieben haben. Das bedeutet, sie bringen deutlich weniger Kollektionen raus, teilweise nur 2 Stück im gesamten Jahr und achten wirklich darauf, dass die Qualität ihrer Produkte super gut ist. Das heißt, die Produkte sind im Bestfall nicht nach 3-mal Tragen kaputt, sondern halten Jahre über Jahre über Jahre. Und am besten achten wir natürlich auch darauf, dass wir Produkte aus natürlichen Rohmaterialien benutzen und nicht aus Plastikfasern. Aber ich verstehe auch total das Dilemma, was jetzt entsteht, denn ich habe mich so viel damit auseinandergesetzt und so viel recherchiert und trotzdem kann ich euch, glaube ich, in Köln, wo ich wohne, maximal 5 Läden sagen, wo man Kleidung irgendwie verantwortungsbewusst einkaufen kann. Und das finde ich einfach katastrophal und erschreckend. Als kleiner positiver Lichtblick, online gibt es dann deutlich bessere und viel mehr Angebote. Und wenn man sich damit ein bisschen auseinandersetzt, dann kommt man da relativ schnell auf wirklich tolle Shops, die man mit deutlich besserem Gewissen, hallo Milli, unterstützen kann. Und eigentlich müssen wir unser komplettes
Doggo will Aufmerksamkeit, kümmere dich um Doggo sofort.
Denken in diesem Bereich umstrukturieren.
So ein Feini.
Denn wir leben in einem System und sind irgendwie darauf getrimmt, ganz viel für ganz wenig Geld zu kaufen. Und so kann das System nicht funktionieren, denn oft sind wir gar nicht bereit, diese etwas höheren Preise für deutlich bessere Slow Fashion zu zahlen. Und das ist, glaube ich, auch ein Problem, wo wir wirklich voll an unserem Mindset arbeiten müssen. Denn am Ende würden wir wahrscheinlich so viel weniger auf Dauer bezahlen, wenn wir bereit wären, etwas mehr für unsere Kleidung auszugeben und dafür auf wirklich Slow Fashion und Langlebigkeit zu setzen.
True.
Die Spielregeln müssen einfach unbedingt geändert werden, denn es betrifft nicht nur uns Konsumenten und Konsumentinnen, sondern vor allem die Politik und die Unternehmen.
Wir müssen auf jeden Fall weg von Fast Fashion, von diesen kurzlebigen Trends.
Alles tolle Takes, aber ich werde halt nicht los, wo sie herkommt. Das hat sie doch am Anfang vom Video aufgearbeitet. Also ich würde ihr das auch vorhalten, wenn sie es nicht thematisiert hätte am Anfang. Also ich gestehe Bibi durchaus ein, sich reflektiert zu haben. Ich bin ein großer Kritiker im Zusammenhang mit den Worten. Also ich bin ein großer Kritiker im Zusammenhang mit leeren Worten. Aber das ist es nicht. Das ist das hier nicht. Ich finde es sogar umso relevanter zu sehen, woher sie kommt und zu sehen, wo sie jetzt ist. Super.
Immer schneller, immer billiger. Wir sagen gerne dieses Hamsterrad aus Billigmode, aus Wegwerfmode. Und es gibt viele gute Alternativen schon. Wir müssen hin zu langlebigen Texten.
100% Baumwolle ist nach Aussagen von deinem Cousin Vincent hinsichtlich der Haltbarkeit aber auch Müll. Schön, dass du versuchst, ein bisschen Drama zu schüren, aber ich kenne die Aussage und du rezitierst sie falsch. Es geht nicht um die Tatsache, dass es 100% Baumwolle ist, sondern woher das kommt. Ich respektiere aber die Tatsache, dass du versuchst, ein bisschen Drama zu schüren, deswegen werde ich dich permanent bannen. Die Aussage ist nicht, dass Baumwolle immer das Beste ist. Es hängt halt davon ab, woher es kommt und wer es produziert. Ich kenne die Aussage. Und jetzt verpiss dich, du Hurensohn.
Wir müssen hin zu langlebigen Trends, Sachen, die man gerne hat, die man gerne lange trägt. Und ja, die Perspektive ist eigentlich textile Kreislaufwirtschaft. Das bedeutet reparieren, das bedeutet Langlebigkeit.
Ja.
Das bedeutet halt auch frei von gefährlichen Chemikalien. Und wenn die Sachen dann am Ende dann wirklich mal nicht mehr tragbar sind, nicht mehr reparierbar sind, ein Recycling von den Fasern, damit die dann wieder vorne eingesetzt werden können. Damit wir sozusagen hinkommen zu dieser Vision für textile Kreislaufwirtschaft, brauchen wir halt gesetzliche Maßnahmen. Weil wir sehen, die freiwilligen Selbsterklärungen von den Unternehmen reichen nicht aus. Und deswegen fordert Greenpeace ein Anti-Fast-Fashion-Gesetz, wo wir halt das beinhaltet zum einen eine Fast-Fashion-Abgabe, damit die Unternehmen die Verantwortung übernehmen müssen für die ökologischen und auch menschlichen Schäden, die sie verursachen bei der Produktion. Das bedeutet ein Werbeverbot, vor allem auch auf Social Media, weil das einfach das schärfste Schwert ist für das künstliche Anheizen des Konsumdrucks. Und schließlich müssen auch alternative Geschäftsmodelle wie Leihen, Tauschen, Reparieren gefördert werden.
Ja.
Und selbstverständlich habe ich diese Petition auch sofort unterschrieben und würde mich natürlich über jeden freuen, der das ebenfalls tut. Also, wenn dich dieses Video ein bisschen zum Nachdenken gebracht hat und du auch etwas tun möchtest, dann schau in die Infobox, da findest du den Link und über den Link nochmal ganz viele weitere Informationen. Weißt du, was ich mir wünsche? Ich wünsche mir, dass wir uns alle wieder öfter stark fühlen. So stark, dass wir begreifen und endlich verstehen, dass wir ohnehin die Welt durch unsere bloße Existenz verändern. Und dass wir mit jeder einzelnen Entscheidung, die wir täglich treffen, bewusst bestimmen können, ob wir diese Welt, die Tiere und die Menschen positiv oder eben negativ beeinflussen. Ich wünsche mir so sehr, dass wir erkennen, wie wunderschön es eigentlich ist, Verantwortung zu übernehmen. Verantwortung nicht mehr als Last zu sehen, sondern als etwas Wunderbares, etwas, das uns so unglaublich machtvoll macht.
So next up, we're going to be checking out Leitmotifs in Sonic by All the Boy, which I definitely have never said wrong before and has never had to cut that part out. Because I'm not a music person. I just get this because I randomly deep dive and was obsessive about certain musical compositions. So yeah, I have a lot of random fascinations that I just get absolutely interested in and then run into them. It's fun. Let's see where this goes. Because I've heard a lot of Sonic songs, and they're actually real bangers in the latest game. I've heard the game's fine, but the music is amazing, man. So I want to see more just about this in general, see what other things I've been missing, because apparently, what the last Sonic video, The Soul of Sonic, has showed me, it's that I know very little about Sonic, and this is actually kind of fun, because I like learning new things. Let's check it out.
If the world chooses to become my enemy, I will fight like I always have.
think in terms of leitmotif, unless I'm completely wrong, which for me is always a possibility, that little do, 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 the up and down of the strings would be the leitmotif here. And honestly, it definitely is iconic. Even I know Shadows. Well, random BS. Here's the thing. I've never heard that score before, so this is actually getting me hyped. Wait, this is Sonic? I've heard this song! I didn't know it was Sonic. It was just randomly in my playlist, man. Okay. Wow. I did not realize that. Apparently, I've been listening to Sonic music for a while now. I just like general rock tunes. Shadows leitmotif?
Hey, look
You know,
at
that
me.
line
I
would
know
do it.
Big music theory words and terminology, and I'm gonna say shit you don't understand, so it makes you feel smarter.
Don't worry, I'm an English major. I realize saying shit I don't understand is part of the game. You might think I'm joking about that, but no, it's actually a legitimate thing. Look at Shakespeare. He made up half of the damn words he's talking about. Nothing is really a problem, I guess, to do.
Listen, man, none of that shit. Who said you need to have a basic surface level understanding of something to make a video about it? Oh, just pretend I do. You're gonna believe me anyway. Nothing complicated. Basically, you have your theme, right? Then you have a motif, which is the small part of song that stands out. You know, and what we'll get is a musical phrase that we can attribute to anything we want. An object, an event, a place, an idea, or a person. And then we can use that motif throughout the story to convey anything we want to the audience. Then boom, there's your leitmotif. It's not exactly the same though, it usually changes a little bit, but I'm gonna show you one to keep it simple and easy to read, okay? We're good? Okay, let's go. A character leitmotif like this is really common. So let's start with everybody's favorite Sonic character, Infinite.
Who? Okay, I've seen a picture of that before. I'm just gonna pull him on screen.
Everybody's favorite Sonic character, Infinite.
Yeah, I think I've seen a picture of this before, and I thought it was just someone's hyper 3D stylized Sonic OC Please Don't Steal. Huh, I guess they were real. Okay, that is actually kind of a cool tune, because it definitely feels not just the cyber vibe there, but very much the 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, which definitely has that controlled, precise beat, as opposed to Sonic, who's all about "fuck this, let's go faster, yeah." The control and the cyber aspect is very much the antithesis of everything. So I'm assuming, just based on that sound alone, this is probably a mini boss and or mid-game boss, but not a final boss. Ooh, and no name. Let's see. Hey, is there a time check? Oh, time to check Burger's Nefandi or Reggie's Kenshi stuff. Either would be fine. Reggie's Kenshi stuff, there's been people asking for it. Actually, quite a bit. But Burger Creek's Nefandi, we've actually already started on and we need to get back to. Oh, and Valerian, this theme slaps? Yeah! A bad villain from Sonic Forces? Oh, really? Like bad as in not useful or bad as in not handled well? Battle with Infinite? Oh, and then they gave it a different, less techno and more up and down, but orchestral. Oh, it's a mask. Oh. Oh, that actually sounds cool.
It's not even a theme song thing, it's just association. Like, look at Metal Sonic. Dude is so heavily affiliated with Stardust Speedway that when you hear those... Fuck?
What?
Sorry. Oh yeah, those. You automatically think of metal.
Shit, man. I was never good enough at anything to do with Sonic to get to these levels, but I've heard these tunes for so many years. Like this one I didn't know was Sonic, and just... Oh, I'm gonna have a lot more nostalgia here than I realized if they go to the old stuff. What? I don't know this one. Oh, is this Sonic Boom? Or just fan animation. What? Character design? Oh, so it's someone's animation based on the game. Ah. Dude. You can actually hear that's the same song, but in various different treatments. This is so cool. Ooh, also, Josh, remind me to watch the other Tail Foundry vid? Oh, there was a second King in Yellow I do want to check out. We just got to get around to it. Robotnik? She put a bow on it. Does that count as ding-dong ditching? Oh, that's just dickish. Are these comics animated, or is this just like... It feels like something from a web series. Wait, I'm being told by Nick it's an actual official animation from Sonic Mania Adventures. Oh, it's an advert series. Oh, so it's both an advertisement and a miniseries. Oh, okay, that's actually really cool. I don't see a lot of usage of that other than some kind of things have become adverts like Flow for Progressive, I think. Or Limu Emu, which... They all seem to be insurance ads now that I think about it. That seems odd. Yeah, that kind of thing.
First time I heard this, I thought it was just so cool. It almost made me forget what I was looking at. What the fuck are you doing here?
Oh, dude. Even I've heard this tune, man. Oh, I'm having a blast with this, man.
The primary leitmotif for Sonic Forces is fist bump, not representing a specific character, but the game itself.
Oh.
But maybe it is for a character.
Sonic?
Wait a minute, maybe I'm alluding to something here, and I should watch the whole video to find out what.
My God. I mean, from a standard YouTube thing, like leading into a question that might have additional meaning that you can get to later at a point of the video, but not the end specifically, but some point between then and there, so people don't know exactly where to click to, is a good point. I'm just lazy about it. And according to Valerian, Mania is basically modern classic. Huh.
History, foreshadowing, ooh.
Lost Valley. No, what's going to get for me is when they hit up some of the classic tunes from the very beginning of... Okay, I forgot the name of the Dreamcast version. Sonic Adventures 1. That's the one that I played the most on, and if I hear it, I'm going to be like, ah! As opposed to normally when I'm like, ah! Because I have one reaction to geek shit that's cool. Ah! I know, weird. Oh. Ah, button. Oh, dude, it basically feels like the classic Sonic here. Motor Canyon. What game is this one? Oh, this might be the one they're mentioning. Mania. It's not about winning, it's about going fast. Ooh. More brass. I wasn't sure what I was listening to, and then that's that little speeding up. Oh, God damn it. So when he's talking about leitmotifs, that is definitely the leitmotif of torture. I mean, the underwater levels. Every damn time, man. He alternated up. He didn't use the original one, but he changed it over to an orchestra setup. And just hearing that little time limit, you know it's a time limit. It's getting faster, and I freaking started to have a minor panic hearing that going before realizing, oh wait, no, it's music in a freaking game in a video I'm watching. I'm not even playing the game right now, and I'm still panicking on the freaking Pavlovian reaction on it.
The first leitmotif in the history of Sonic. No, not really. See, the issue with calling this thing a leitmotif in the first place is that it never changes. It's the same repeating 8 notes over and over again. Doesn't matter where you are, what's happening
more of a
in the
theme
story,
than anything.
what kind of water it is. It's the same one. And the whole thing about a leitmotif is that it's flexible. That's like the best thing about it. Wait, let me show you. Look at everybody's favorite Sonic character, the Deadly Six.
Who? I have no idea who these
So
are.
For absolutely just no fucking
Lost
reason,
World?
they decided to go off with these guys in the music department, of course, nothing else. Now, this Zeddy leitmotif represents the Deadly Six, obviously, the entire team. But what they do is that every time Sonic meets one of the Zeddy for the first time, their theme plays, and every single one of them uses the Zeddy leitmotif in their own unique style.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's the up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down. Yeah, that actually is fitting in every single one, but they also alternate for everyone to show a different characterization based on the tone. For the oboe, wow, actually, I got the instrument right. Huh. And Larry, that was the music for Drowning? Yeah. Have Lovian reaction to that, man. Oh dear God. Is that a harpsichord? Oh, dude, I haven't heard that one in a long time. Ooh, an animation. I'm just gonna pull this up right now. Hey, Harry, how much you stream today? Hope not a lot, because you need to live for future streams. Watch some Minutemen to rest. Maybe, but honestly, I kind of want to stream their stuff because the pound pay actually looked really interesting. Gotta get to it eventually, but it looked good. Also, for anyone wondering, I was awake and not streaming for, I think, 4 hours yesterday, and then we did a 9-hour stream, and then right before that, a 5-hour stream, and, yeah, I'm crashing. That's what coffee's for.
So you see how they took this one thing and stretched it all throughout the entirety of the game? That's why leitmotifs are so fucking goated. So no, I wouldn't say the Drowning theme is the first one we got. It's more of a motif anyway.
This is actually just me kind of weird. Like, I guess the difference between a motif is there's a very hard one, and a leitmotif is more flexible usage. Although it's the English language, if you use it wrong often enough, it's right anyways.
I'm still pretending I know what I'm talking about. You actually don't even have to go that far for the first one. In fact, you don't even need to go anywhere.
Yeah, we have reached the point of sheer nostalgia, man. Oh God, you can't see it, but I just had an entire little rush of ah. Yeah, I'm more like ooh, but oh, in essence, you're more like, man, take care of my health. Here's the thing. Even with all the caffeine I'm drinking right now, I'm literally about 1,000 milligrams less than I was at the worst. I'm not doing as much caffeine as I used to, and I'm keeping it that way on purpose. That's why it's only coffee and not energy drinks anymore. The death sound effect, which is the opening slower in a lower key. I don't think I've actually heard this version of it before. The opening
and
intro
this
and
would be the
blown
first
up.
case of a character leitmotif. Aside
Wait,
from
that was the first?
Robot, they didn't really do leitmotifs back then. Instead,
Sonic Adventure.
did this really cool thing where each character has a specific genre of music associated with them.
Oh.
Amy's pop, Sonic's rock, Knuckles is rap, all that jazz.
Really? Oh. I'll be completely honest. I only remember the rock from Sonic. I actually didn't recognize the others. In fact, I'm not even trying to know them at this point. I have a preference for rock, and the heavier it is, the more I like it. Not a big fan of Screamo, though.
Which was Rouge. Rouge
Ah, Zork, how do I even function? That's the joy. I don't.
was all that jazz. Nothing
Yeah,
we
that makes sense.
really call a leitmotif. They really
far as
started
you know.
doing them when Tomoyo Otani became sound director with 06. Ever since
Oh.
then, leitmotifs have been way more prominent in Sonic games. Now, we're going to be talking about 4 of them that I think excel at what they do, all of which composed mainly by Otani, except one.
What? The Black Knight. Oh, I've heard about this one, if only because of Game Grumps. Oh.
Our first leitmotif is this one, the one you're hearing right now. I call it the Night of the Winds because that's what it's called. It's the first song you hear and it represents Sonic.
Oh.
I know, what? That's crazy. But it doesn't just play whenever he's on screen. As per the game itself, there's a theme here. Every time Sonic does something chivalrous, you can hear the leitmotif.
Only death can remove this stain upon my honor.
Give me a break! What's up with all this drama?
And because it was mentioned in the previous game, the Soul of Sonic, where he's basically treated as a fairy, someone coming in and timeless, who lives up to the ideal of themselves more than anything else. having a leitmotif for him showing as I'm doing something here means that it's also that moment of showing someone. It's mirroring that. If it's only coming in when he's doing something suitably epic or heroic, it matches that. So it almost feels like this is a sequel. No, actually, never mind. When did this come out? I might actually not even need to say that. 3 years ago, and Soul of Sonic was 10 months ago. So yeah, the Soul of the Sonic video might actually be the companion piece to this video because it feels like it's playing on the same tunes, well, same themes, except where this is themes and music. This is the other video was the themes actually portrayed just in the audio cues. And since so many times audio cues are literally telling your brain how to feel without the words needing to explicitly spell it out or without scenes showing you, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Silence! Silence, I say!
That is a weird way.
Their king is unfit to live.
Isn't there more to being a knight than just serving a king?
I mean, in real life, it was usually a lot of horrible shit that you just abuse peasants for. But that's more reality, not actually chivalry.
Huh? Percival! Yikes!
Just that moment of, yeah, he's being a badass.
You have mastered the code of chivalry. From this day forth, you shall be Sir Sonic, Knight of the Wind.
It's really fucking sick how this story about Sonic's knighthood goes against what he believes himself to be. Like, he doesn't strive to be a hero or a knight, he just is. And he goes, yeah man, whatever. It's kind of like how he doesn't want to be known as a true King Arthur by the end of it. Speaking of...
Ooh.
All right, Professor. Work your magic.
I almost want to play these games.
I am immortal. You cannot defeat me.
Dead.
And of course, Merlina, the most prominent leitmotif throughout the entire game, all leading up to the final boss with me.
Oh?
Not with me, but the song is called With Me.
Oh. Oh, damn! That's going hard. Oh, dude, I haven't played this game, so I had no idea. But I love how this is both mixing in the aspect of rock, which the previous Sonic games like Adventure, which is the one I started most Sonic on and was actually able to play on, like the previous one, I just sucks too much. And the leitmotifs coming in, it's mixing both in the motifs and the previous just stylization for the character. So we're getting a bit of rock in here as well. Dude. I will admit though, actually, no, I want to hear that again. I want to hear that again. Just that little guitar solo right there before the audio came in. Wait, there, it's starting up and here we go. Oh, sorry. I love it whenever a guitar player actually is allowed to just shred a bit on their own without someone saying, nah, keep to the beat. Like, nah, that's just someone going, nah, I'm showing you I got this. Oh, dude. That is definitely the energy, man. But I am fully strong way. And no name Sonic rules? Let's say, yeah.
That's called thematic transformation.
Actually, I'm going to say something that is a little weird. Between Mario and Sonic, well, Mario might probably be the more famous one right now with more successful games. I think Sonic's in a weird place where even their bad games are still good. And it just feels like it's stayed true to what it is a lot better than Mario has. Mario is fine, I don't mind it, but I think Sonic is standing the test of time better, where a lot of the old games you can still go back to pretty easily. I'm very biased though, because again, Sonic Adventure was awesome. I loved every second of that. Except for the fishing.
In this case,
fuck that.
Changes the music in a way that you can still recognize that it's Merlina's theme, but thematically altered to showcase a change in her character. Instead of giving off sorrow and sadness, it gives anger and evil. And this is perfect for Merlina because on the surface, With Me is just some generic evil banger, but in context, it's literally just about this girl who's so terrified of death, she's transformed herself into this unrecognizable monster.
Why do flowers bloom, knowing they are destined to wither.
Oh.
Huh?
Their time of beauty is so short-lived. There was never any King Arthur.
Huh?
Well done. And thank you, Sonic.
This kingdom will fail one way or another. Such is its fate.
Huh?
Oh, if this is telling the story of King Arthur, I'm guessing she's the equivalent of Morgan Le Fay.
At its core, it's fear. It's fear, confusion, feeling lost, and not knowing what to do. And Sonic knows this. That's why the theme that follows the boss fight isn't some triumphant piece where he's all happy-go-lucky, but a direct answer to Merlina.
Sorry about that. Woo! Wow! I just swallowed in the wrong pipe. That's bad. Also being told some of... Oh wait, Valerian says Merlina, so Merlin. Oh yeah. Although the entire going evil aspect made me think maybe the Morgan Le Fay is what she's played on while the name is something else. Although there are previous versions of King Arthur that didn't have either of those two. They were added later. Although, let's be completely honest here, there's so much fan fiction in the King Arthur mythos. Both Fate Grand Order and Sonic doing their own take on it are perfectly valid, and not even the biggest changes it's ever had. Neither one of them has a Frenchman who suddenly has all the right answers and all the power, and is exactly what everyone needs to aspire to. Yes, Lancelot is an OC Don't Steal Please, except it was literally stolen by everyone. What is Sonic's theme? Whatever we have?
Some might say the original title theme from Sonic 1.
I'll be honest, that never really felt like Sonic so much as the entire franchise. Like, if I hear that, I'm going to think, oh, we're playing a Sonic game. Not, we're going to play this game with this Sonic. Also, being told by Martin, modern and classic Sonics are very different games. Oh, yeah, no, massively. And, like, it's like playing the original Mario versus playing a 3D Mario. There's a huge difference. Hell, maybe even a bigger one. In fact, I actually think maybe that's why I like Sonic more, because they'll do a lot of random shit. Some of it is horrible and they'll fail, but they'll still kind of do it, and it feels like Sonic. And honestly, I think I haven't heard a bad tune from it yet. Even the games that are fine have great music, man. Some that I didn't even realize apparently the worst Sonic this entire time. And Cosmic, the day English myths give anything to the French is the day we set C4 on the continental shelf and sink ourselves into the depths. Cosmic? Lancelot is French, with a French castle, who was made specifically to be the strongest person in a British myth, while being French, who also was explicitly, in canon, meant to be the lover of the queen, because the king was busy. Yeah. It wasn't meant as NTR, but it is explicitly NTR. This is the canonical myth that the mythos has morphed into. It was not intentionally that way originally, but originally it was just like a battlefield record of a guy named Arthur who fought in a war. And may have been a king. Or maybe mistranslate, I don't know. Yeah, it's changed a bit.
Or it doesn't matter, his world reached for the stars, not in the wind, or just straight up green hell. And from what I've noticed, this only happens with Sonic. Like, no one's out here arguing over what Knuckles or Tails' themes are. It's only him.
Because he has so many?
Yeah, sure. Sonic not having a consistent theme makes it very hard to have scenes with the same emotional resonance as whenever All Hell Shadow plays.
I think that's because... It's because of what he mentioned in the later video of the Soul of Sonic, where Sonic's theme isn't, this is Sonic, and more, this is what Sonic is doing. Because every version of him is kind of its own thing. Because he fits where he needs to be.
Chaos control!
Yeah, because everyone else can be a character, where Sonic is whatever he needs to be good.
Shadow?
What?
He just disappeared.
Double the edgelord.
Especially when you consider how almost every other franchise has that one melody everyone recognizes, like the fact that
Okay, he just did something right there that I find absolutely evil. He was showing freaking Mario, but he was playing Zelda, man. Just like listen to this and go do 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 do.
Especially when you consider how almost every other franchise has that one melody everyone recognizes.
Showing Mario playing Zelda. Oh, I don't even.
Like the fact that you're thinking of Zelda right now because I played the thing.
He did that on purpose. Oh, it wasn't even a mistake. Oh, that son of a bitch.
You know, gotta admit, it's pretty fucking cool. But
Dick.
Consider this, right? Trust me, I'm doing something cool here. So, Sonic doesn't have a consistent theme because no one theme represents Sonic. He's just built different, right? He's that guy. He's also a guy that's defined by his adventures. So what if every
what game is that one?
represents both Sonic and the adventure
Planetary
he embarks on
Pieces?
in that game? Night of the Winds is Sonic's stoicism. It doesn't matter is Sonic's philosophy on everything. Sonic Heroes is the bonds of friendship and camaraderie he's made throughout his
Haven't
life.
played that
Fist
one.
Bump is the same thing, but less cool. It also works in favor of Sonic being a great static character. The story is almost never about him, but as the main character, he gets to be the avatar for the theme.
Yep, this is definitely the precursor to the Soul of Sonic, which definitely died more because I can say it the third time. Definitely is the case. If you're going to say a word, you might as well say it 3 times. But I do appreciate how a lot of the overarching aspects of Sonic, what makes Sonic a character, he's kind of touching on right now by the lack of the motifs, which is the entire point of the video, where everyone else has them and he plays them, and honestly, the Shadow one sounds pretty awesome. I'm biased towards Heavy Rock, I'm just like that. But Sonic not having one, it definitely feels like what we're hearing right now is what led into the later video, because he didn't seem to work through it in this one.
And every
You can
time
see
there's
where
a light
one
motif
leads
for
into
it,
the other pretty
it
well.
represents the main themes of the story and him. So, what is Sonic's theme? All of them.
Oh! Haven't heard this one before. Need to find out the name of it though.
Plays all throughout Sonic 06 as Sonic's light motif, with 2 different variations, and not 1, not 2, 14 different versions.
14?
The soundtrack is fucking insane.
Oh,
Buckle in.
damn.
This was Otani's first time as sound director, and the first game
I've heard conflicting claims about 06, but at the same time, the music sounds really good. Is this something I should maybe look into?
that would really go crazy with light motifs. I already showed you one at the beginning. They took All Hail Shadow, Shadow's true hero theme from Shadow the Hedgehog, and made it even more heroic. This is Shadow at his peak. No cloud of
Peak
judgment,
Shadow?
no one to let him stray. The ultimate life form at his most ultimate. Raw. Based. Peak Vic. And of course you get
I don't know why, but for some reason, I just got so much Redditor vibes with him saying all of that.
to end the trio with my voice.
Okay, so according to Cosmic, 06 sucks. Conceptually, it's interesting, and music-wise, it's a banger. So in other words, it's a great video to watch about the game, and rather than play it. Or more likely, wait for my wife to watch Game Grumps absolutely rage out at it. Yeah, probably what we'll end up doing.
Silver, and the way they decided to go about it is fucking beautiful. See,
Oh?
throughout the game, Silver is portrayed as this hard-ass, angry dude on a mission, just constantly
Isn't that basically just Shadow, but with white colorization? I'll be honest, I have no idea who Silver is. I know this game he's been around for a while. I did not know he was then. I don't know who he is now. I know who Shadow is. I have no idea about Silver, and it still is weird to me.
yelling and being weird, with small moments of peace sprinkled throughout, where he's allowed to let his guard down and be himself. Just some confused kid in something way bigger than him, wanting to do the right thing. And it's in these moments where you can hear his leitmotif.
What's wrong?
Oh.
To kill someone to save the world. Is that really the right thing to do?
You're so naive.
Oh. So I'm being told by Hurricane it's a time traveler. That makes sense.
Could also point to his relationship with Blaze, given the lyrics. I don't know. The point is,
Would that be
we
the
hear it every
difference?
time Silver is at his most vulnerable.
Also,
Really
who
just
Blaze
goes to
is here?
show
I'm
how
assuming
he
it's the
wouldn't
cat.
dare to fly if he didn't think he had to. Just a desperate and confused soul.
What? That is a phrase. Okay.
Boo. You can hear Memphis' whisper whenever things are going his way.
Oh.
Oh, I think I'm not big on music, so I could be completely off about this. But you can actually see the notation here. It's like da 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 dee. It's off key. Or more, it's not the same style of key that you normally play into, because I know there's a term in music where certain notes you don't go from one to the other because they seem off-putting. But here, this is such an off-putting change. Like, let's just go back and hear that second.
Whenever things are going his way.
Right here. Yeah, it almost feels like they untuned a piano to do that, and that is, it feels wrong, man. It's like whenever you hear something that's so wrong that it actually stands out more and becomes more of its own character just for the audio effect alone. For example, if you're watching something so incredibly fucked up and serious and terrifying, and then you suddenly hear a choir of children singing in the most angelically soft and relaxing hymn, and you're just thinking, what the hell is going on? Because it does not match. And normally, not matching music is bad because it doesn't enhance the situation. But when the situation is, oh God, oh God, oh God, why? Off-putting music actually enhances it. So I'm guessing, knowing nothing about this character other than the few seconds I saw so far were fucked up, this is probably a really disturbing but also insane villain.
Oh, how ironic fate can be.
Yeah.
I would never have believed I would be resurrected through your shade. I thank you, Shadow.
I have no idea who that is still, though.
Mephiles!
I still have no idea who that is. Hey, Gemini's up. Ooh.
In other words, you hear it all the damn time. Whether he's got two Chaos Emeralds on him or is manipulating someone, his leitmotif symbolizes him always having the upper hand.
Let us punish this foolish world of humanity. It's only fair to give back what was
No
intended
mouth.
for you. You have every right to want justice.
Did none of them have mouths?
That's absurd. Whatever
No,
it
he
is
has a
you
mouth there
wanna
too.
do,
It's
you
just
can
the one
do
guy.
it alone.
You forgive humanity this folly, then?
Is there someone in there?
I determine my own destiny.
Dude.
Shadow is so fucking cool.
I'm sorry, that I don't even know these games, man. I apparently missed so many decades, and I have no idea who this Dr. Robotnik version is. I don't even know. I'm assuming 06 because the style looks similar to the versions we've seen. So, yeah. I just need to look up more Sonic stuff in general, don't I?
Eggman.
Oh, that's his theme? Oh, yeah, 06.
We're gonna be hearing this again very soon. This shit is iconic, it's versatile, it works no matter the tone, it's in every game past this, and I hope...
Actually, I'm wondering if it's made it into the Sonic movies. Also, full disclosure, I've meant to see the Sonic movies. I heard they're good. Haven't. I think there's like 2 of them right now. Yeah. I'm very far behind on apparently a lot of things.
They never get rid of it. Ah, for fuck's sake!
Miss Elise! I cannot allow harm to come to my people.
I'm sorry, the way they draw humans looks so weird. It's like it's a really good design, but it's just the wrong game for it, man. It just looks like the wrong game. Wait, there's 3 movies? Oh.
The story of Elise is a story of responsibility. On top of ruling her big-ass kingdom, she's also cursed to lock her emotions in and never cry. That's what the leitmotif represents. and it starts the second she has to burden that responsibility. Because her father just had to play God, and now she has to pay for it.
Spaceship?
That's a good girl, Elise. Remember, be brave. Don't cry, no matter what happens. Otherwise, your tears will call forth the flames inside you. Become a strong queen.
Oh, wow.
No matter what happens.
So this leitmotif should represent something horrible, right?
I'm assuming there's a lot more going on here that I just have no idea about. I kind of want to play this game to find out more, but also I'm being told specifically cool ideas, cool plot, cool music. Don't play it. I'm getting that impression maybe playing it's not the right choice.
I think we hear it every time she's close to crying or has to be reminded of her responsibilities, and that would be the case if it wasn't for him.
Elise, just smile.
Playing the same tune on the upbeat.
By befriending Elise, Sonic recontextualizes Don't Cry into Smile. It's the same general idea and it's not the best advice, but spending time with Sonic has enabled her to finally feel genuine happiness. And similar to Silver, we hear it every time she's allowed to be herself and let go of the burden on her shoulders.
Actually, I want to go back and rehear the initial beat. Here we go. So yeah, the big difference is the tone. It's not so much that they changed the music, it's that they've changed the tempo to give it a very different vibe. From the slow progression up, down, 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 across, to down, up, down, across. Just pulling through it. Sorry, this is one thing that I love that both music and writing can do, is just establish an emotional pattern to show people what they should feel by the invoking of words. I'm not a musician in any way, but it is so damn useful. For example, whenever you know exactly there's a tune that hits the exact emotional resonance you're looking for in a book when you're trying to write a certain tune, both in writing it and reading it, having the music that complements where you're looking into fits well. For the same reason I went on that entire diatribe earlier about how something that is off-putting makes it more off-putting, having a resonance with what you're trying to write versus what you're actually doing is also very helpful. For example, if I'm writing a story that's super intense and going really hard, but it's like really gritty, I'm going to be putting on BFG Division in the background, man, and I stand by that decision because that is very much the, I'm getting in here, I'm going to write this shit, we are doing it, versus something that's more like uplifting. And I'm just going to take a page out of Honkai Impact, or not Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and just say anything from Bellabog, you know the tune I'm talking about, which for some reason I forgot the name of. It has just that emotional climax of, we are doing this right here, it's going to be awesome, and like, shit's bad, but fuck this shit, man. But in a good way, as opposed to the, oh shit, fuck this shit. Very important contextual definition there, or differentiation. Sorry, this is getting me to think about more how music is being used in a process to create media versus even just exploring it. It's the same damn tune, but the emotional impact of it and how it's played does mean different things.
If we put out this flame, Solaris will never exist. And then we'll never have to worry about the flames of disaster, right?
If you didn't know, now you know. 06's soundtrack is just goated. Like, if we're talking leitmotifs, it's still unmatched today in terms of quality or quantity. And even besides all that, just look at the effects it had on Sonic music going forward.
I don't know why, but that tune they're playing in the background, dude, like, just listen to this for a second.
Quality or quantity. And even besides all that, just look at the effects it had on Sonic music going forward. And I haven't even gotten to the best part of it.
For just a bit there, it almost feels like it's a reference piece to The Exorcist beginning, just the D, 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 like the down, up, down, up. it's only a similarity, and it might be a reference that this is something going on, but maybe not. I don't know, because I don't know the context of the game. I don't know the context it was used in, but it sounds so similar. It's all I can think right now. Ooh, and Jazz, I'll just pull up your comment quickly. One, thank you very much, too. Hey there, Eric. Glad I could tune in. Saw you watch part of Rubik's Verse. Oh, yeah. The series, I did see that one. VS. Wow, I'm pulling a blank here. I'm pulling such a blank. And I know the one you're talking about. I just put it out. It was awesome. I need to check out more. I completely forgot the name of it. I'm having a lot of those today. Maybe you'd be able to investigate VS lore at some point. Also, writing music enjoyer. Pog? Hell yeah. I enjoy music. I'm not good at music, though. There's a very big difference. It's actually vintage story. That's the word. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know the game had lore, and I might actually check it out at some point. But I probably want to see more Rubik Raptor stuff just to get a better idea of what the game looks like before anything else.
Remember Sonic's leitmotif? I haven't been showing it, but you hear that thing a lot. You hear it when you start the game, when you finish a stage, when you collect an item.
Oh.
Repetition is the name of the game. By hearing the leitmotif over and over again, it sticks with you to the point where you just expect it.
Yep.
So when you hear it in the final boss, it just feels right.
And they have the most upbeat, probably close to rock version. Still orchestra, though.
Playing an orchestral version of the theme you hear when you open the game is just...
Okay. I don't even know the details. I just see chaos on the right side. It's like, yeah, I like it already.
Such a genius way of playing everything together and packing the whole game in this neat little package in the form of a musical phrase. God, and it's not like the boss just starts with the
Solaris?
The first phase has this moody...
Oh, that's not chaos?
Oh. How powerful Solaris is. His world doesn't even start till the second phase where Sonic has the upper hand, so it actually feels earned. And this carries over every single time they do this. It's so climactic. It's so fucking goated, bro. This isn't exclusive to Sonic or anything, but it's my favorite musical trend, and I hope...
The two-stage boss where you have the initial music where you lose, and then the music after that where you get to actually get powerful, and it kicks into the hero's theme. Yeah! For the best case of this ever, this would be Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, the first boss fight against the Metal Gear Ray, where it goes into the absolute banger of everything is so freaking cool. Not the way to put it, of course, but it's literally how you feel. It goes from, oh my god, we're actually fighting the boss, we're actually doing it, we're hitting it, we're doing damage, it's slow, we're whittling away, to, oh my fucking god, we cut the freaking metal monster's arm off. It's that level of peak design that it goes emotional trigger with the second stage of a fight, and it works so well, man. Even though technically there are like 3 more phases to that fight, but you know the deal. Ooh, and Dead. What's up, man? Man, I'll just pull this comment up. You know what? I'm just going to donate the other 20 suggestions to make it obvious. Sure, man. You can choose the next video. Also, you guys are getting close to getting another video regardless. Oh, neat.
They never get rid of it. Oh, man, fuck you.
Forces got rid of it. I'm assuming Forces is not his favorite. I don't know why I would say that. Sonic Colors?
Don't have a lot of leitmotifs.
Oh.
Colors only has 2.
Unleashed?
One of them is Eggman, so it's technically just this one. But the reason I consider these to be special is because I think they're the best at actually using these.
Really?
Because again, the best thing about a leitmotif is the amount of shit you can just do with one. And although we had some great ones like Merlina and Shadow and fucking Zavok.
Who? Oh, it's the one I don't know anything about, that's why.
More often than not, they're just there for you to recognize.
Also, I'm being told no, that's Colors? Forces is worse than 06. Oh. Oh. Rules of Nature, that's the one, Tom, thank you.
And establish a sense of familiarity. And don't get me wrong, that's already pretty good. Most don't even get that. But imagine if we had some D-Pass, I'm talking Star Wars, Undertale level, narratively.
I'm gonna be completely honest. If Vader's eyes suddenly lit up and said, you're gonna have a bad time, I am probably going to wake up and realize like, I'm having a weird-ass dream. Pretty awesome, though.
Bro, know what I mean? Like, 06 was the closest thing we had to this simply because of how many moving pieces there are. 3 storylines, multiple character arcs, antagonists, fuck ton of lore. Scale-wise, it's the biggest Sonic game we've ever had.
Really?
When you put that next to Colors, Obviously, it's gonna look pathetic. The number of leitmotifs are incomparable. Colors only has to because it only needs to. The plot is simple as shit. Sonic saves aliens from Eggman. We got 2.
Okay, so in other words, they went from a giant game to a small contained storyline. Like the difference between an epic saga and a light novel. Okay, but both are still good. Luna to Moon, 3 Sonic movies and a Knuckles TV. Wait, there's a Knuckles TV series? Oh! Actually, I had no idea about that.
Groups of characters that affect the story, each represented by a leitmotif.
I know he's speaking, I can't hear what he's saying.
I have to admit I'm a little scared. I don't think we can beat this guy.
And it's the Eggman motif that they pulled out earlier.
Really, nothing will stop me.
Oh, God.
Who you calling nothing?
Yep, the Eggman followed by the Sonic right after, probably.
Since Eggman is the only villain, they play this before each boss fight, so you associate all of them with him. It's the simplest way to use a leitmotif, and you can probably guess what happens after Sonic beats each of them.
Alright, bro, we
Yep.
get it. His theme plays whenever he wins the fight.
Let me
It's
cook,
not
let me
Hamilton.
cook, motherfucker, I'm getting there, it's gonna be cool, fuck. Okay, yeah. On the surface, this is Sonic's leitmotif playing whenever he wins the fight. Basic shit, but it's not just about that. Because as I've said, the main leitmotif doesn't always represent just him. So this isn't just about Sonic beating Eggman.
Oh?
So, are all
Is
the
it about
aliens getting
victory?
free?
Looks like it. Once the
Oh,
power
it's
went
also
off, the
about good
box
things happening.
vanished.
It's about the Wisps.
Wisps?
Sonic's
Oh.
friendship with the Wisp is the main driving force behind everything that happens in this game, and is what Sonic's leitmotif actually represents. Freedom. So every action you do in the game that works towards that, beating Eggman, destroying generators, finishing a level, they're all representative of Sonic's journey of freeing all the aliens.
Hold the whole planet.
Well, it's tiny, but still, yeah.
Okay, fine. 5 generators? Well, I've already leveled 2.
So, if my math is correct, that leaves us 3 more of those bad boys to...
You know, I'm not going to usually talk about bad writing in a Sonic game because it seems like that's only secondary at this point. But if my math is correct, 5 minus 2 equals pineapple. The line is, I already know exactly who this game is built for. Yeah.
Take out. You're saying it was either ice cream or a tractor beam.
Yeah, well, I'm going to...
If it's not actually ice cream, I would be very disappointed in that line. I have a feeling it's not actually ice cream.
guess it wasn't ice cream.
The game is kind of childish in general, according to Flareon. Yeah.
Dude, I'd get 2.
Ooh.
Now, if everyone will excuse me,
Honestly, though, an entire concept of saving aliens and freeing them from slavery, it seems like a really hard motif. But, I mean, it could also just be imprisonment. But just, goddamn, it is such a childish feel already. I've only heard a handful of words from this game, and I already got that.
I'm going to put a stop to these renovations.
Oof. Cool image, though. Like, unironically, that is a really cool image. How does Eggman keep building so many cool things? It would be funny if they just, like, randomly had him do a fun
As
job.
you tear down everything with Eggman's face on it, his leitmotif also becomes less and less prominent. By the end of it, you're not even hearing that shit. Well, until, you know.
Everything goes to shit. Yeah. Yep. I'm being told spite? I'm not sure why everyone's saying spite.
Sonic has saved throughout the game comes back to save him when he needs it. There is nothing complex about this. It's a basic thematic role switch. There's nothing to it. But Colors uses the simplicity to harken back to Sonic's core values of freedom and friendship.
Yeah, because that's kind of been his thing. Oh, and people are saying spite because it's why Eggman does things. He does it out of spite and being a megalomaniacal genius. Yeah, honestly though, doing things out of spite is fun. It usually makes for interesting characters because they're acting in a completely understandable but ridiculous way, and it's kind of really awesome if you play it right. Great way to justify non-good decisions.
You're welcome. Thank you for saving us.
He says you are welcome.
This one leitmotif is
Can I
one of the
get that?
reasons why Colors has such a strong identity. So strong, in fact, that we've been dealing with it for the past decade. Also, it is interesting
How
how
long has it
Sonic's
been?
theme is always changing while Eggman's stays the same. Huh.
You know, having said that right now, I'm actually wondering if they ever have done a game where it does alter Eggman. Like the theme-wise. It is good music though, man. I need to make a Sonic playlist now. Oh, it does work. Sonic Unleashed? You know, he was bringing up leitmotifs, and before he did the entire thing where he was showing Mario and brought up Zelda, and then you do this. How many people just hearing this, hearing those little notes going doo 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 doo, and that little rumbling in the background, just showing that there's something heavy moving, are expecting a spaceship to go across the screen at any second? This is so Star Wars right now, man. Oh God, it's the leitmotif for how to begin a Star Wars movie. It's even panning up. Oh my God. But Ultra isn't just enough. I have no idea what game this is, by the way. I'm assuming Robotnik. I am very much assuming Robotnik. I have no idea this game. This is completely beyond anything I understand. I mean, I'm assuming Unleashed because that's the choice area we're in right now, but... Yep, it's Robotnik. Oh my God. But they've altered the tune just enough. I wonder if that was an intentional call out with the music for this game.
Come on, it's me. Of course I want to talk about the opening. You know you click.
Oh, this was the opening of a game.
As beautiful as this looks, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sets the stage, introducing the two main leitmotifs. Eggman's carrying over from 06 and Sonic's brand new one, which you can hear throughout the whole thing, jumping between them whenever one of them has the upper hand, almost like they're dancing.
At some point, it is kind of like that. Sonic Unleashed. Again, I don't know this game. Like, I've heard of this one, but I don't know it. But it involves destroying a spaceship as the opening scene. And apparently it's 17 years old. Oh, damn. Big red button. And it switches to his theme because he got the upper hand in surprise. Eggman's theme.
Not just Sonic, everything breaks. But it doesn't end there, because Eggman isn't the only antagonistic force Sonic has to face. There's another one.
Oh. I've heard the Werehog.
Brilliant success! It's just as the Gaia manuscript foretold!
What? Oh, he broke the planet.
By giving Dark Gaia his own leitmotif, the game separates him and Eggman into two distinct forces. It doesn't last long though. Dark Gaia collapses on himself and the focus quickly shifts back to the main threat.
Ah, Sonic, that's a good look for you. Festive. So long, friend.
After setting all that up, the game presents you with the journey.
Surviving, falling into a planet falling apart? Also, I have no idea who Dark Gaia is. I don't know this game in the slightest.
just the opening.
Oh, that was the opening. I thought we had moved on at some point. Oh, wow. Wonder if I should actually try and play this one. Also, according to Jarek, I'm in for a treat because I've never seen this one. Yeah. And Valerian mentioned there's no PC version of it. 17 years later, there's no PC version. That is a bit disappointing, actually. I was actually considering that one. Damn. So the music is boss battle called Day? Oh, wow. Yeah, I can tell it's 17 years old now. What the... Boss battle Day and Night. Oh, yeah, there it is. But it's playing with a jazz rhythm.
That whole dancing thing with Sonic and Eggman I mentioned, that keeps up throughout the entirety of the game. These leitmotifs, they're involved.
Oh? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. I hear it. Yoink.
If you all behave, I won't have to do anything nasty.
Knocked him right out.
So, you dare to defy me, do you?
Yes.
Yo, Eggman! Thanks for that little skydiving adventure the other day.
What is that thing standing next to him? Like just with the wings, but it's not a fairy. Or is it a fairy? Oh, God. Oh, there's a fan port though.
How'd you get here so quickly?
You know, I thought if my math is correct, line from Tails was dumb, but ooh boy, yeah, that I think we have just heard a new low point in terms of why would you even write that? It's like Sonic his main thing is how he likes to have a slow, sedate life. It's completely understandable. I'll see myself out.
Dog. What? Now I ain't gonna waste your time. I don't do that. By this point, you already know how it works. We got Sonic, his journey, represented by the goal, which is the broken planet, which is established in the opening with the little leitmotif playing over it. You know, it's like a little fucking formula. It's a little thing we do now. It's cute.
But how are you gonna change it up?
Over at Spagonia University.
Spagonia? That's a continent over. And easy jog if the planet weren't broken.
No problem. My Tornado 1 will get us there in a flash.
Leave it to you, Tails.
Oh God, they actually kept the freaking... I'm assuming that plane has been in multiple games. Actually, no, I remember seeing it in Tails and... Yeah, Sonic and Tails. It was flying in the intro, so it's probably been his main thing the entire time. Also, I'm being told, you see the problem? You're in the cheese era? Light Gaia? What's Light Gaia?
Tails, let's get moving.
What is the cheese era? Oh, probably just pulling everything in weird ways.
Now, according to my Twitter, follow me, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Unleashed is the most immersive Sonic game, and I think one of the
Really?
reasons is because of how involved the soundtrack is. It's
Oh.
nothing crazy, it's basic player
Oh,
feedback
damn.
music. Nothing about the story itself, too. It's pretty simple, but it's engaging because the world it builds around all that is fucking cracked.
Oh.
Get it?
Oh.
Cracked?
I actually missed him making that joke at first, and I actually feel bad about that. That is... Okay. Yep. If there was a bell right now, I just ding it for that one because he got me on it.
I'm fucking good at this. Seeing progress in all these places you go. Places that have their own leitmotifs. By the way.
So every town is associated with, so you feel different. This is actually a thing that's very common in a lot of gacha games, oddly enough, to really sell you on locations, because every town, every city, every area has a different one. What that usually translates down to is when there's a new update and there's a new location, the location will have its own background sound, but it's slightly different in each one, and it'll change as you go to every area, but it's always a variation on that first intro one with a new game. I'm mostly thinking of games like Genshin and Wuthering Waves that do this really well. I might have fallen off of not Wuthering Waves, but out of Genshin. But even I will admit, their music is usually very distinct. Sometimes better than others, but very much you have a feeling for the area. And Wuthering Waves finally got to that when they got to their 2.0 update. So yeah, there's a lot of games that do use motifs as a main part of how you would differentiate locations between updates. I just wish I could think of other things other than gacha games off the top of my head doing that.
All things like this really help. Like the whole thing with the E rank. If you do badly, the game just makes fun of you. Bro, that shit is so funny. You should keep doing it.
As someone who does really bad a lot of times,
Hey, remember when I said Unleash had 3 light motifs? Well, I lied to you, and you believed me. You goddamn idiot. Chip also has.
My God, I've fallen for the most obvious scam. A person on the internet saying something wasn't right. That'll never happen again, except for when it does.
One, kinda.
Ew.
Not, it's complicated because the character's light motif is tied to who they are, right? And at the start of the game, we don't know who Chip is. He doesn't know who he is, so there's nothing to go off of like the other ones. So when Sonic and Chip are looking for his
Why does he have
identity,
a ball on his
you
chest?
might hear something.
Remember anything yet?
Nope.
Oh well.
But it doesn't go anywhere. They still don't know anything. Chip is still Chip.
What's wrong, buddy?
Huh? Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean.
Oh.
I remember now. All of it.
Everything's a lot more clear now. There's no confusion over who Chip is anymore. Like Gaia is finally awake.
Oh.
And one small thing though, so is the other guy.
What? Oh! Wow, tell me you've watched and found out about Dagoth recently before. Tell me you just found out about Dagoth. Because that does feel like the case, just looking at that maw, man. It's about to hit Robotnik, isn't it? Yeah, called it.
Dude literally kicks Segment out of the picture and takes the stage as the main antagonist. From now on, it's just Dark Gaia.
Bad. Oh. Oh, it has more eyes.
Sonic, you've got to get up. Sonic!
It was broad daylight a minute ago.
What?
Dark Gaia has regained its true power. The beast is complete. It's just as the Gaia manuscripts foretold. We're doomed. The planet is lost.
More people. Oh.
There's no way Sonic will let it end like this.
What? Are they doing freaking Godzilla? You know, it's a giant monster. That actually would make perfect sense if it's actually adjusting the leitmotif to have a reference to the most iconic. Balls of light? Yeah. Getting the level of power he had at the beginning of the game in the intro. It's just all eyes. It's apparently the chip Megazord.
Sonic, you must live.
Chip? Oh, I do love how he just shows the break right there. Do.
That is how you draw attention to something. Not just having a different tune, but a sudden break where it's not expected. Oh.
You see this one? This isn't Chip. It's like Gaia. Because of his experience with Sonic, Chip's godhood doesn't define him anymore. He's still the same guy we found under the window. Nothing's really changing. He's still just Chip.
I'll never forget you. I'll be here by you always. A part of the earth you tread.
I am wondering how much continuity these games actually have, because I'm kind of believing right now that it seems like there is some continuity because characters are introduced and they become more prominent later. Shadow. But I'm not sure how much of that really kind of carries over between them, because it feels like a lot of the Sonic adventures, not just the game Sonic Adventures, but the adventures Sonic takes are, okay, let's do this, cool. You know, there's probably an entire fandom debating right now how they're all connected and none of them are connected, or some are connected. And I have no idea which way to follow on this one because I just don't know enough about it. And I'm kind of actually interested to see if that's the case. I'm being told it's little and pretty little, but also a decent amount. And before 06, they were pretty heavy continuous, but after, very little. So in other words, the answer is, it depends. Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Hello, you. Thank you for watching the whole thing. Really means a lot. Really. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow, we're at the end
First
already.
off, a massive shout out to Doggy Fresh, aka Lavender Vibes. All the transcriptions, all the actual music theories.
Oh, they actually transcribed this? Oh,
We took
wow.
care of him. This video would just not happen without him.
So all of the musical notation we saw on the screen was just this one guy? Dude, that's good. I cannot do transcription of music because my ears are not good enough for that. That is actually impressive.
Just an absolute goat. I've linked to all his socials. Check him out. Give him a follow. I'm not asking. Just
Damn.
do it right now.
SoundCloud, I think.
Yeah. Big thanks to him and you for watching. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. Take
How
care of
to
yourself.
fix
I'll see you
Dr.
next time.
Eggman?
Bye.
Oh. I didn't realize there was actually an entire thing about it being fixable. I thought his entire shtick was he is the villain who you love to hate. And there's so many variations of him because he's always different in every incarnation, except for when it's going back to a previous reference. Some are more funny, others are way more evil, and some are actually kind of just a good guy you just happen to be occasionally enemies with. I think that's more of the Sonic Boom TV show, which I've actually heard really good things about, oddly enough. I've seen clips about it. They're actually really funny, and I'm kind of surprised every time. Huh. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I might need to go check out a Sonic game. Oh, God. Either way, you guys know the deal. There's a link below to the original video. Hit it up, and there's probably a bunch of things I missed in it, so if you know what it is, let me know, because I kind of want to find out more. This is cool, and music is something I don't know too much about, but I know a lot of things coincidentally to it, because there's a lot of overlap between writing and music, because they both play on how people interpret what you're trying to lay down in very different ways. Either way, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.
It all begins in what appears to be a castle, bathed in the light of a beautiful blue moon. Descending a dark staircase, we arrive in a deeply gloomy and unsettling place. From within, sounds of a struggle echo from behind a massive iron gate. This is our hero, and he appears to be in a terrible predicament. The young man is in chains, covered in wounds, with strange-looking tools scattered nearby. Then a white-haired man grabs him, remarking that he's quite amusing. But the man brings a searing hot iron close to our hero's face with a look of pure contempt. He continues speaking, noting that only the protagonist failed to inherit his clan's talent. And without a shred of pity, he burns the chest of the utterly defenseless young man. Rian cries out in agony as he suffers at the hands of that maniac. The villain muses that even cursed and talentless, the boy's life is incredibly stubborn. Rian can barely speak, beginning to plead for something as he lies on the floor. With tears welling in his eyes, the young man begs the man to finally end his misery. The man is claiming he can't understand him and should have left his tongue unharmed. He had hoped to extract something from the sermon bloodline, but now he was just bored. Turning away, he tells the protagonist not to perish just yet, because the house still needs him. But in truth, he reveals he's been celebrating the fall of the sermon house for 3 years. Rian hangs there from the chains, completely broken and devoid of hope. The only illumination comes from the moonlight filtering through the cell's window. Alone and forsaken in that dungeon, our hero remains amidst the chaos. He then recalls that 3 years have now passed since his departure. He remembers his home, the great and highly respected sermon family. His family is a defense against the monsters threatening the kingdom. These ghastly creatures will emerge from the Shadow Zone to invade the continent of Drea, and among the 5 great houses of the continent, his was the most significant of all. The sermon house was known to everyone as the strongest and most celebrated in existence. But everything changed when his father and older brothers vanished without a trace. Seizing the moment, the Phaidon house saw a golden opportunity to attack and claim everything. They wasted no time in destroying our hero's family to steal their sacred blessing. What they coveted most was the legendary dragon's blood, a power only the servants possessed. Anyone born with this blood would become a 7th circle archmage by just 10 years of age. And upon reaching 15, they'd already be highly skilled master swordsmen. But our protagonist was not so fortunate, for he was born under a curse. Rian was the ill-fated heir born unable to wield magic or master the blade. For this, he laments, thinking that if he hadn't been cursed, everything would have turned out differently. Had he possessed strength, the Phaidon house never would have succeeded in destroying his family, and he wouldn't have had to endure all the experiments and torment from Sons Phaidon. But suddenly, the young man's thoughts shift, and he momentarily stops his lamenting. He is so utterly exhausted that he can no longer even muster regret for what transpired. In that moment, he feels something shift, and a colossal beast materializes in his mind. He senses his life is about to fade, and a strange energy emanates from him. Tears stream down his face, for he can finally rest in peace. Through his blurry vision, he spots small creatures watching him from the darkness. All at once, the image of that monstrous beast with a purple aura flashes back into his mind. He then has a vision of his past self, vanquishing a gigantic creature. In this memory, he appears much healthier, his eyes filled with fiery determination. The young man was an incredible monsters. His former self seemed confident, ready for any challenge that lay ahead. With his sword, he carved through every enemy that dared to cross his path. He even battled a giant wielding an axe who appeared to be immensely powerful. And after the battle, he was confronted by a brilliant, golden figure in the sky. That celestial being watched him with an odd smile and an air of superiority. Without hesitation, the Rian of the past charged forward with his swords to strike the being. But the golden creature simply clenched its fist, unleashing a massive amount of power. Immediately after, a blinding explosion of golden light obliterated everything in its vicinity. The entity then reveals its full form, clad in armor and wielding a sword of light. That being extends its hand, declaring it will grant our protagonist wish. Back in the present, Rian hears someone call his name and his eyes fly open, startled. A blonde girl in glasses desperately cries out the young master's name. In that instant, the young man's eyes begin to radiate an intense blue light. He awakens, disoriented, and sees a maid named Colin looking down at him with great concern. Rian recognizes her as the sermon house nanny, but wonders why she looks so young. Glancing around, he realizes he's back in his old mansion and is completely stunned. Desperate, he asks the young woman for a mirror, leaving her utterly confused. When he looks into it, he sees his own childhood face and is left speechless. He then asks the girl for the current date, and she answers immediately. The young man is shocked to hear they are in the year 1892. It dawns on him that he has traveled back in time to when he was only 12 years old. His eyes begin to burn with intensity as he recalls a pivotal event. Looking through the window, the boy remembers what happened during this exact period. It was at this very moment that the image of the golden being promising to grant his wish floods his mind. He wonders, his hair glowing, if he truly has returned to the past. Just then, footsteps approach, and someone enters the room. An older man appears, saying he thought the young man was faking it again. Rian looks at the newcomer and recognizes him instantly, his expression surprised. It was Alejandro, captain of the Sermon family knights and his former master. The captain studies the boy and notes that he really doesn't look well. On that account, he decides the protagonist can skip training for the day. But Rian turns to the maid, declaring he won't miss practice, which confuses her. Alejandro observes the young man with a serious, suspicious gaze after that response. But our hero simply offers a confident smile and insists he's feeling fine. He then asks what today's training will be, leaving his master quite surprised. The captain replies that it's fencing practice and asks if he truly wishes to refuse rest. Seeing the boy's confident, unusual demeanor, Alejandro asks if he is truly the young master. With conviction, the young man clenches his fist and confirms that he is, without a doubt, the sermon. His master wonders if this is a wish or a regression, but ultimately decides it doesn't matter. The young man, sword in hand, suggests they skip training and answers instead. With a determined gaze, he thinks that this is his chance to set everything right. A while later, outside the mansion, they get ready for the training session. The status window materializes before Rian, displaying his exceptional attributes. He's relieved he can still access this window, even with his cursed body. Then Alejandro arrives to announce that the monster for the training is ready, They proceed to a large training arena in the mansion's courtyard. His opponent is a hideous goblin, chained up and seething with rage. But the creature shatters its restraints with ease and lunges toward the protagonist. The goblin charges ferociously at the young man, who braces for the fight. Alejandro and Colin watch from afar, deeply concerned for the young master's safety. The maid pleads for them to stop, as he always faints just from facing a goblin. But Rian states that Colin is correct. That was the old him up until yesterday. The protagonist closes his eyes, his expression calm yet fiercely determined. Then, with a confident smile, he opens his eyes and declares that he understands everything. He now understands the terror he used to feel was a part of the Demon King's curse. Seeing the young man frozen once more, Alejandro is disappointed by the scene. The master decides that's enough for one day and attempts to end the boy's training. However, our hero refuses to back down, insisting he's not stopping yet. Taking a firm step forward, he shouts that this is still not enough for him. The goblin seizes the opportunity, lunging once again at the defenseless young man. Rian is paralyzed by fear, but he fights to break free from the curse's hold. He strains to move his feet, which feel as though they're rooted to the ground of terror. He tells himself he's not the same person anymore, and that he can defeat a mere goblin. He thinks that compared to the threat he faced in the future, a curse like this is nothing. The green creature continues its charge, its eyes blazing with fury. The image of the golden being that set him back in time flashes through his mind. The fear he felt facing that entity was far greater than what he feels now. Fueled by this memory, Rian finally breaks free, raising his sword with all his might. And in a single, swift, precise motion, he strikes the green monster dead on. Alejandro and Colin stare at Giles again, unable to believe what they just witnessed. A notification then indicates he has overcome the curse, and its level has been reduced. The system informs him that after that fight, he no longer feels fear toward monsters. With a serious and confident expression, the young man's entire demeanor seems to have shifted. He turns to his master and requests a reinforcement. His master already asks if he will truly be alright with an actual weapon. The protagonist master is smiling at the deeply moved, Alejandro thinks that the young master has finally become a true man. The goblin is still alive, but it looks gravely wounded from the initial blow. Rian prepares to finish the creature for good. Without hesitation, he delivers a final strike, ending the green monster's life. The captain tells Colin to watch closely, for a new light is dawning on the Sermon family. He asserts that this figure is, without question, the next head of the Sermon house. Later, back in his room, our hero reflects on the day's events. The boy splashes water on his face, still processing his sudden return to the past. Catching his reflection in the window, he sees the face of his younger self. He muses that the status window and the system's aid were incredibly effective. With their help, he managed to overcome the curse, proving he can grow stronger. But he opens the status window again to verify something crucial. He sees he's earned experience points, but the amount is disappointingly small. Frustrated, he realizes he'll need to defeat thousands of goblins just to level up. He has to hurry as the day of his family's downfall draws ever closer. He looks at his reflection, seeing his future self, but now he knows the curse can be beaten. Still, he glances at the status screen, aware that he cannot waste this opportunity. The young man considers his family's predicament. It's been 2 years since his father and brothers vanished. They're clinging to their status as a great house by a thread, yet their enemies have not yet struck. With a clenched fist, he confirms to himself that he has a method to level up. With a smile and a blue aura glowing in his hand, he declares it's time to test the second method. Shortly after, a woman with vibrant red hair and a mask makes an imposing entrance. The scene shifts to another location within the same elegant mansion. They are seated in a room, and the woman remarks that she heard the tale of the goblin hunt. Nevertheless, she asks why he summoned her for magic training. This is Sina, captain of the Magic Corps and a powerful 7-circle archmage. She accuses him of arrogance over a single goblin, reminding him that magic is different. The woman asks if he has forgotten and halted his training due to his lack of talent. Rian acknowledges this but explains the curse had stolen his talents, preventing him from sensing mana. He asserts that was true only until yesterday, and asks what would happen if he could now sense mana. Sina is left utterly shocked and speechless by the boy's declaration. Suddenly, the teacup on the table begins to glow with an intense golden light. The woman then unleashes an immense fairy aura, with a dragon taking shape behind her. She tells him he can open his eyes now, for she has drawn something only visible with mana. Sina challenges him to describe what she drew if his claim is true. Rian calmly replies that he's a beautiful red dragon, leaving Sina stunned. He then asks if he is mistaken, and the woman stammers that he is not. She wonders how he changed so dramatically, and how he saw the dragon through a complex formula. Desperate for answers, she demands to know how he suddenly overcame the family curse. The protagonist then says Sina's name, preparing to explain the situation. He states he cannot use the family's method for refining mana, and that is why he needs her help. The captain of the Magic Corps studies him intently, trying to understand his request. She knows mana refinement is an indispensable method for gaining power. But this would mean placing the young master's life entirely in her hands during the process. The young man just offers a tranquil smile as if unconcerned by the risk. She asks if he intends to perish, and the boy replies that he couldn't resist her power anymore. With a serious gaze, he affirms that she is the only person he can ask this of. He then recalls a time in his past life when they were ambushed during a battle. In that memory, the woman was grievously wounded but continued to fight with immense bravery. Even with her body pushed to its limit, she shielded him until the very end without a moment's hesitation. Back in the present, our hero looks at his master with absolute confidence. Extending his hand, he says he trusts her more than anyone else, and she agrees to help. The young man then removes part of his clothing, preparing for the refinement ritual. As he kneels, a strange mark on his chest begins to glow, along with a blue aura enveloping his body. Saida announces she is beginning, and a pink mist starts to fill the room. Saida employs the blue aura refinement method, a technique known only to the direct hairs. The protagonist remembers training with this method in Aedean to become stronger. The mage chides him, urging him to focus as the process is extremely dangerous. She warns him of the intense pain he will feel, and that he must not make a sound or move. With a stern look, she says that if it becomes unbearable, he must consider stopping the ritual. The young man contemplates the word pain, having endured so much of it in his past life. He recalls the torment he suffered at the hands of that white-haired man in the future, but he refuses to yield, enduring the agony with all of his willpower. The boy shouts that he trusts her, surprising the mage with his resolve. Understanding his message, Saina closes her eyes, focusing completely on the task. The woman unleashes her full mana, and the boy's body begins to shine with blinding intensity. Energy surges through the protagonist's body, his eyes glowing with immense power. But a system alert warns that the curse is activated, scattering all the incoming mana. Saida notes that the curse is just as described, but she was prepared for this. To counteract the effect, she decides to pour even more mana into the young master's body. The system continues to flash warnings that the curse is relentlessly activating. Rian realizes only he can see the alerts, and the curse is draining mana from both of them. The mage understands that even the mana of an archmage cannot overcome this powerful curse, but he plans to use the Aedeon method to confine the mana within his own body. By doing so, he will deceive the curse and retain all the mana for himself. Saina is astonished to see that the mana is no longer escaping the young master's body. The young man's hair glows as the system again warns that the curse is activating. But this time, the system shows that he is successfully resisting the curse's effects. The mana scorches his body like a lightning strike, but he continues to hold firm. With a determined gaze, he yells internally that he will not lose, no matter what. He remembers the battles of his past, and that he has endured pain far worse than this. After all, he was the Grandmaster player of Aedean, he wouldn't yield so easily. In that life, he faced incredible challenges and bravely overcame every single one. His understanding of mana surpasses anyone's, and he will leverage that knowledge now. Because that knowledge isn't stored in the body, but is forever etched into his very soul. He then addresses Arkan, stating he doesn't know what kind of demon king he is. But not even the god known as Aedean was a match for his immense power and skill. Suddenly, the strange mark on his chest begins to fracture, emitting a white light. The protagonist roars with all his might as a torrent of blue energy erupts from his body. The mage is thrown backward by the sheer force of the power exploding from the boy. The golden mana now flows smoothly throughout his body without any issue. But after the immense effort, the young man finally collapses, utterly exhausted. He feels his consciousness slipping away, but thinks it's alright because he succeeded. His mind drifts back to the memories of that blood-soaked prison window. Compared to the agony of the future, the pain he just felt was nothing at all. In his memory, the masked men spoke of disposing of him and returning to their base. But suddenly, a sharp blade slices through the air at incredible speed. A hooded man appears from nowhere, attacking the guards with his swift sword. The mysterious intruder is horrified by the scene and the young man's condition in the dungeon. Rian desperately shouts for someone to stop the intruder who has breached the area. But suddenly, he finds himself disoriented, staring up at a night sky with a full moon. He wonders how he ended up outside in a dark, frightening forest. Then, someone holds him and asks if he has finally awakened from his nightmare. It was Alejandro, his former master, covered in blood and gravely wounded. The captain apologizes to the young man for being too late to rescue him. Rian's face lights up with hope as he asks if he came to save him from that place. But his master simply looks down, his expression filled with immense sadness and guilt. With several arrows lodged in his back, he embraces the young master and apologizes once more. Watching his master perish in his arms, the protagonist screams and weeps in utter despair. With tears streaming down his face, the boy finally wakes up from the terrible dream. He was back in his own bed, safe, realizing it was all just a nightmare. The mana refinement was successful, but reliving that horrific memory soared his mood. He remembers his friends passing away, but now he has a way to prevent it all. With a ball of mana in his hand, he knows his newfound power must remain a secret, especially from the Fatten family, as he is not yet strong enough to stop them. With a determined gaze, he decides his next move is to hasten the family's downfall. The following day, he wakes in his bed with Sina and Alejandro at his side. The protagonist claims the mana refinement failed, leaving both of them utterly surprised. The mage and his master are baffled, not understanding what the boy means. The young man remains in bed as the two await a logical explanation. He thinks to himself that revealing the truth would be far too risky. He also wonders if they would even believe his story if he told them. So, he says that he tried his best but cannot feel any mana within his body. He holds out his hand, telling her she can check for herself if she has any doubts. Saida doesn't understand why he's denying his own success but agrees to verify. With a fiery aura in her hand, she uses her mana detection ability on the boy. The woman holds the protagonist's hand as a green and gold energy flows between them. Using her magic, she tries to sense any trace of mana in the young master's body, but to her astonishment, she detects absolutely nothing and is left in shock. The protagonist allows a subtle smile, his plan working perfectly. The mage, confused, says that the mana that was there before has simply vanished. She was certain he was filled with mana yesterday, but now she feels nothing. Embarrassed and at a loss for words, she gets up and hurries out of the room. Alejandro, concerned by her reaction, tries to make sense of what happened. He then tells the boy not to be discouraged and to focus on his sword training. But the protagonist replies that he can't do that again, as it was too difficult. Alejandro is left shocked and speechless by the boy's unexpected response. He is so stunned he looks as though his soul has left his body. Time passes and autumn leaves drift down upon the grand family mansion. 2 months go by, and the winter snow begins to blanket the entire estate. The maid Colin waits anxiously outside the master's room. She is saddened that the young master has once again not left his room. With the head of the house away, the lady is the only one struggling to hold everything together. A butler then asks if the boy will be staying in his room again today. He remarks that it's been 3 months since the young man last listened to the captain. Another maid comments that in the end it was all just a passing dream. But Colin defends the young master, insisting he was only trying to live up to expectations. She shouts that their gossip is only hastening the ruin of the sermon house. For it's not just within the house he's called useless, but throughout the entire kingdom. The young woman is incensed that they would call a 12-year-old boy such cruel names. But the other staff members retort that the servants are resigning one by one. They then turn to Colin, asking what she plans to do about the situation. Elsewhere, the protagonist is dining and notices something off about the meal. He notes the declining quality of the food, a clear sign of financial trouble. With a wicked grin, he thinks that everything is proceeding exactly as he planned. He reflects that his past self would have squandered the family's fortune trying to save it. But now, with his experience from Adian, the protagonist has a much better strategy. He will wait for the perfect moment when his enemies lower their guard, and then he will strike. The family's downfall began with the disappearance of his father and older brothers. The once bustling training grounds are now nearly deserted. All that remains are a few untalented knights and servants unwilling to work. Even the nobles who once sought to befriend the next leader have ceased their visits. Witnessing the family's chaos, they simply turned their backs and walked away. This allows the boy to freely act as a recluse without anyone suspecting a thing. But the ruin is progressing more slowly than he anticipated, so he must be more meticulous. Suddenly, Colin bursts into his room, desperately shouting his name. She tells him it's time for training and that the captain of the knights is waiting. The young master wears a bored expression, clearly not wanting to leave his bed to train. He pulls the covers over his head and asks to be excused, but the maid is not having it. With a dark expression, the young woman yanks the blanket off him with all her might. The protagonist is startled by the maid's action as she grabs him without mercy. And without any ceremony, she scoops him up to carry him forcibly to his training. With clenched teeth and a determined gaze, the girl shows she is not messing around. She shouts that she will never abandon the sermon house, recalling when he was just a baby. The young man chuckles at the situation as she carries him from the room like a sack of potatoes. On the training field, the young man is brought for yet another session with his master. Alejandro yells at him, asking how many times he must be taught how to hold a sword. The master explains that the swordsmanship he's learning infuses mana into the blade with each swing. With a bored look, the protagonist thinks that his master hasn't given up on him either. He wants to repay their loyalty, but he cannot be caught secretly training at night. Body domination is an Adian skill used to mask the true state of one's body. Suddenly, the system notifies him that his experience has increased, granting him new points. His stamina and strength stats rise, and he feels a strange, sharp pain. Panicked, the young man claims he needs the restroom and bolts from the training session. In the bathroom, he realizes the skill is still unstable and can break with sudden movements. He opens his status window to check his progress after so much training. The boy is now level 3, and his attributes have risen significantly from the start. With a smile, he sees that 3 months of secret training are yielding results. He plans to level up once his attributes hit 20, allowing him obtain the ghost class. Outside, he spots his master with a guest and becomes curious about their identity. The man introduces himself as Truno Hill, the general manager of the sermon house, and apologizes. He hands a letter to the young man, who senses this situation is different from his past life. Rian takes the scroll, already knowing its contents from his past experience. The letter contains an invitation to a party hosted by the second prince, Kyle Darren. On that very day, the final piece of the plan for the sermon house's downfall was set in motion. On the way to the party, the protagonist yawns sleepily inside the carriage. Truno remarks that he's been sleeping since they departed, and the young man complains about Colin. He recalls the maid excitedly picking out his clothes late into the night. The manager says he understands, since neither Alejandro nor Sina is with them. And just recently, a large horde of monsters suddenly appeared at the border. The Sermon family's duty is to prevent these monsters from entering the continent, and with Sina as the acting head, she could not refuse the madam's summons. As a result, a 12-year-old brat is heading to the capital as the family's representative. But Truno insists that no one in the kingdom would dare harm a direct member of the Sermons. Rien thinks that might be true if the family were still as powerful as it once was. Now that the family has weakened, its head must personally attend the birthday celebration. The boy smirks, thinking about how he himself engineered this very situation. They finally arrive in Darbon, the royal capital of the Darren Kingdom. The city is grand and beautiful, filled with imposing, well-crafted architecture. A crowd of servants and maids awaits them at the entrance of the grand palace. As he steps from the carriage, he's greeted by a blonde woman and a guard. A blonde-haired man with a suspicious smile welcomes him as the Dragon of Drea. This is Kyle Darren, the second prince of the Darren Kingdom and the party's host. Truno expresses gratitude for the invitation and the kingdom's hospitality on the young master's behalf, but Rien scoffs internally at the word hospitality as he stares at the prince. On the way, he felt the gazes of every citizen fixated on their carriage. The family was once so respected that everyone was concerned about its decline. Looks of pity and concern for the future came from every direction. Rumors about the boy had spread, painting him as a delinquent. He noticed the contemptuous expressions from the nobles, but this was all part of his plan. With a confident smile, he thinks that everything is unfolding exactly as he intended. The young man then plays the part of a fool, greeting everyone with a forced, cheerful grin. Truno is mortified by the young master's behavior and doesn't know where to look. The other party guests laugh and mercilessly mock the boy's predicament. A malicious glint in his eye, he wonders how much longer he should keep up this charade. Elsewhere, a few guards discuss the young master's arrival at the castle. They had arrived a week in advance to protect the boy during the festivities. They came early so he could interact with other nobles, but that never happened. One of them recalls how the young man couldn't even manage a proper greeting. And since his arrival, he hasn't left his room once, frustrating everyone. A guard complains that the party is filled with fine food, drink, and beautiful women. Frustrated, the captain sent the newest recruit to try and persuade the young master. But the recruit returns to report that the boy will attend tonight's banquet and requests his escort. Rien reflects that these past few days allowed him to train without any distractions. He gazes out the window, thinking that attending the banquet isn't merely out of consideration for the guards. He has a greater objective in mind and will not let this opportunity slip away. He knows that today that man will arrive, and he must be ready for their encounter. The man who tormented him and the future son's Fatten, his family's sworn enemy. Later at the royal banquet, the atmosphere is vibrant as everyone enjoys the celebration. Suddenly, an announcer declares the arrival of young Master Son's Fatten. The doors swing open, and a brilliant light floods the entrance of the grand ballroom. Son's Fatten enters with an imposing posture and an expression of pure arrogance. He strides through the hall with his guards as all eyes turn to him in admiration. Truno glares at him with disdain as the young man approaches to greet him. Sons recognizes the butler and greets him with a disingenuous smile. He mentions hearing the sermon house arrived first and asks after the young master. With a provocative tone, he asks for the whereabouts of the renowned Rien sermon. Truno grows nervous at the question, unsure how to respond to the young man. Sons then brings up the rumors about the sermon house's decline to taunt the butler. He boasts of having reached the 5th circle of magic at only 15 years old. But insulting the sermon house on its own turf was more than Truno could tolerate. Sons claims he doesn't believe the rumors and insists they should punish whoever shamed the house. Truno is enraged by the young man's audacity, calling him a delinquent to his face. At that moment, a voice announces the entrance of the Dragon of Drea, young Master Rien. Sons turns toward the door to see the protagonist entering with a confident air. Truno is dumbfounded, wondering why the boy suddenly decided to leave his room. A radiant aura envelops the protagonist, who now carries himself like a true noble. Dressed in an elegant suit, he exudes a confidence that leaves everyone in the hall impressed. The guests murmur that he seems very different from the rumors they'd heard. They comment that his dignified presence doesn't seem to signal a family in decline. Sons grows irritated as he sees the sermon name once again capturing everyone's attention. Seething with jealousy, he clenches his fist tightly while watching the young master. Rien approaches his rival with a challenging gaze and a self-assured posture. He asks if he is Son's Fatten, saying his brother has told him a great deal about him. Truno is taken aback to hear the name Lat's the family's 4th and missing son. Other guests also begin to whisper about the boy's vanished relative. Son's flustered, replies that he also knows a few things about the young master. But Rien cuts him off, saying his brother described him as an exceptionally kind person. He praises him, noting that even after leaving the academy within months, his reputation was stellar. A provocative smile plays on his lips as he turns to his rival, who is simmering with rage. The protagonist recalls how he supposedly protected a bullied classmate at the academy, and how he also helped a female student who was being harassed by others. Sons grows increasingly furious with each mention of his fabricated good deeds. The young man continues his taunts, mentioning something about his brother's knees. Truno then interjects, saying he heard Sons brought excellent medicine for Laths. The butler says the captain had a message, but he seems to have forgotten it. Rien leans in close to his rival and whispers something in his ear with a smirk. Angrily, Truno pulls the boy away, telling him to stop staring at his rival. With a blue aura flickering in his eyes, the protagonist is relishing Sons' reaction. Sons is infuriated by the insult, unable to believe the young master's nerve. His eyes filled with hatred, he wonders how Rian dares to threaten him like this. But our hero ignores him, thinking that Sons needs to become even more enraged. For his enemy's anger is a crucial seed for his grand plan. Later, in his quarters, Sons is completely consumed by a fit of rage. He smashes a vase on the floor, screaming that the banquet hall is not a battlefield. With hate-filled eyes, he curses Rian, recalling what the boy said about Raz. At the academy, everyone knew of Sons' reputation and feared him for his power. But in reality, he was expelled, and his family hushed up the incident to prevent a scandal. The humiliation from that time was never meant to be revealed to any outsider. Sons trembles with fury, remembering the day he was confronted by Raz. Raz accuses him of crossing a line, facing him with an arrow of crackling thunder. Desperate, Sons tries to explain, claiming he didn't know the girl was his girlfriend. But Raz admonishes him for using magic to harm a fellow student. With a cold glare, Raz threatens his life if he doesn't offer a sincere apology. Humiliated with tears in his eyes, Sons is forced to kneel and beg for forgiveness. That day, Raz uses thunder magic and shamed him in front of everyone. Back in the present, Sons screams with rage and frustration at the memory. He declares the plan must proceed, and that he needs to silence Raz's younger brother. A wicked smile spreads across his face as he imagines the terrible fate awaiting Rian. Sons proceeds to a dark room and summons someone for a secret meeting. The doors open, and a mysterious shadow enters the room to meet with the young man. Sons is surprised by who is there, commenting on the unexpected encounter. With a serious expression, he realizes this midnight meeting is of the highest level. The figure in the shadows is Truno Hild, the head butler of the sermon house, and its betrayer. Meanwhile, the protagonist's carriage glides through the dark city streets. Rian muses that he's accomplished everything he wanted at the party and shed his troublemaker image. Most importantly, he made Sons fat and take the bait perfectly, just as he'd planned. Truno praises the boy, saying his appearance at the party was remarkable and restored hope. But Rian counters that he started a fight instead of forging alliances with other nobles. The butler concedes that the young master's actions were indeed very satisfying to watch. With a confident smirk, the protagonist knows his plan is progressing perfectly. He then raps on the carriage wall, activating a secret sound dampening mechanism. Truno is startled by the sudden action, not understanding what is happening. Rian looks at him with a serious expression and asks about that spark of hope. The butler is alarmed, realizing the boy has engaged the carriage's soundproofing. With a cold gaze, Rian says that if he truly believed that, he shouldn't have betrayed the house. The butler is terrified, breaking into a cold sweat at the young master's accusation. Desperately, he asks what the boy means, only to be told his crimes are grave. The carriage continues its journey under the moonlight as the tension thickens. But the protagonist adds that the crimes were committed for the sermon house, and thus can be forgiven. Truno's jaw drops, unable to comprehend how the young master knows his secret. Trembling with fear, he bows and asks just how much the boy knows about his plans. Rian says he knows he had no other choice, and for that reason, he will give him a chance. With a menacing look, he instructs the butler to listen carefully and then decide for himself. Truno stares back in silence, sweating profusely as he awaits the boy's proposal. The carriage proceeds on its path as the two discuss the future of the family. The protagonist calmly lays out his plan, and the butler listens with rapt attention. Truno is stunned by the sheer intelligence and audacity of the young master's scheme. He cannot believe a 12-year-old boy could conceive of such a thing. With clenched teeth, he wonders how Rian could have orchestrated all of this alone. The young man meets his gaze, his eyes glowing with a serious blue aura. The butler is overwhelmed, covering his face with his hands, unsure of what to do. After long consideration, he finally makes a decision and lets out a sigh of relief. With tears in his eyes, he says he wants to shout with sheer happiness and emotion. A satisfied smile appears on the protagonist's face as he acknowledges the butler's choice. The protagonist warns Truno that they've already passed the main road and something is about to happen. The butler wonders how the boy can smile, knowing the imminent danger. He realizes it isn't a simple smile, but something far more chilling and cold. The young master's gaze holds a cruel, bone-chilling intent for revenge. Suddenly, the carriage grinds to a halt, black smoke billowing from a broken wheel. A guard asks why they've stopped, but the coachman remains silent, unresponsive. The knight approaches and sees the man slumped over, showing clear signs of poison. Moments later, a purple dart strikes the guard's horse, causing it to collapse. Panicked, the knight yells that it's an ambush and orders everyone to protect the carriage. A volley of mana-infused arrows rains down from the sky upon the guards. The escort mages erect barriers to shield themselves from the surprise assault. The captain of the guard bellows in fury at such a cowardly attack on the sermon house. The arrows bombard the magical barrier, causing it to crack under the relentless force. The captain commands that no one approach the carriage, warning that even allies will be struck down. But a guard peers inside and sees that the young master has vanished. He screams in desperation that Rian is gone, sending the other knights into a panic. From a distance, the knights are frozen, unsure how to react to the boy's disappearance. Elsewhere, a hooded figure on horseback gallops at high speed under the full moon. With a look of determination, the mysterious man takes a deep breath and presses onward. The butler wonders how the boy can smile, knowing the danger that is coming. The The kidnapper carries him on his back, fleeing the scene at incredible speed. The system alerts him that multiple status abnormalities are being activated in his body. He wonders how much time has passed, noting the numerous spells cast upon him. He knows that by now, the family guards must be in absolute chaos. In his past life, his kidnapping led to the family's ruin as everyone abandoned their post to search for him. But now, he can turn this incident to his advantage and manipulate the events to come. Truno is shocked by the notion of a false fall and fails to grasp the plan. Ryun explains that trying to rebuild the family now would be a grave mistake. Other families would feel threatened and unite to attack the sermon house. That is why he cultivated the rumor of being useless, to make them lower their guard. But he knows the Fatten family will try to eliminate him regardless. With a malicious smile, he says he can use their greed to his own benefit. Since Sons fell for his taunt, he will surely make a move after returning from the capital. And with an inside alley like Truno, the plan becomes even more flawless. The butler looks at him with a confident smile, having apparently made his choice. Rian presses him to decide will this incident mark their end, or the beginning of their rebirth. A system notification confirms that his magic and the Blue Earth formula are resisting the effects. The protagonist thinks that everything is proceeding according to plan, but offers an apology. He looks at his kidnapper with a green glint in his eyes and braces himself. With a muttered apology, the mysterious man carries him away in his arms. The protagonist tells Truno to stick to the plan, as it is his only path to redemption. The butler weeps with regret and guilt for betraying his master's trust. The system announces that all of his attributes have reached 20, unlocking a new one. With his eyes glowing, he thinks that the first condition for growth has been fulfilled. In a dark forest, a group of cloaked figures waits for someone. The kidnapper arrives with Rian in his arms, reporting a successful mission. Sons Fatten emerges, revealing himself as the mastermind behind the young master's abduction. He expresses surprise at seeing Truno himself selling out his young lord. Truno insists Sons' words are unfair, he simply did what was necessary. But the young man scoffs, telling him he must accept the consequences of betraying his master. With a smirk, he hands over a scroll containing the information he promised Truno. Truno asks if the information is reliable, and Sons confirms its authenticity. The Asen family is known for contract hits, but they also deal in valuable intelligence. The scroll contains details on the whereabouts of the missing heirs. Rian now understands why Truno betrayed the Sermon family. The butler did all of this in an effort to find the protagonist's older brothers. With its vast financial resources, the Fatten family outbid everyone for the information. Sons dismisses Truno, calling him a traitor and declaring his part is done. The butler pleads with him to keep his promise and not to harm the boy. With a wicked grin, Sons vows the young lord will return home without a single scratch. As Truno departed, guard asks if they should take care of him, but Sons refuses. He explains the butler is already a condemned man, the Sermon family knows of his betrayal. For his grand plan to succeed, Truno must return, and everything has been set up for that. A guard asks if he will handle the service, and Sons confirms he's been waiting for this moment. In a dark dungeon illuminated by moonlight, the protagonist finds himself once again. Sons grabs him by the hair, asking if he finally grasps the situation. Our hero meets his gaze with a calm, defiant look, showing no sign of fear. Sons laughs at the scene, finding it hilarious to see his Sermon hair in such a state. Rian asks what he's doing, and Sons reveals he has captured the last of the Sermon bloodline. The boy threatens him, but Sons just scoffs, recalling the taunt in the banquet hall. He asks if Rian is threatening him again, staring down him with contempt. A confident smile remains on the protagonist's face as he continues to stare back in silence. Son says that while he may have heard many things from his brother, he doesn't know the full story. He asks if Rian knew that he was the one who wanted his father and brothers to vanish. Enraged, he kicks the boy, demanding to know how he dares to mess with the Fatten family. Son strikes the protagonist, reprimanding him for his audacity and attitude. The young man endures the blows, a green glint shining in his eyes. With a malicious grin, Sons reveals that Truno sold him out for information on his brothers. He shouts that no one is coming to save him, and that this is all part of his master plan. This kidnapping is the cornerstone of the impending war between the Fatten and Sermon families. With disdain, Rian thinks that Sons talks far too much for someone in his position. A confident smile on his face, the protagonist unleashes a green aura and prepares to act. Sons is stunned to see energy radiating from the young master's body. The boy activates a magic circle, and a brilliant green light floods the dungeon. The magic circle expands, creating a powerful seal around the entire area. Sons shields his face, terrified by the unexpected magic from the boy he'd underestimated. The green energy envelopes Sons' entire body as he struggles to comprehend the situation. Rian declares he has awaited this day since his return to Drea, and now he will have his revenge. Terrified, Sons demands to know what's happening, but the boy remains silent. He simply watches as his enemy is mercilessly caught in his magical trap. A green light flashes from the top of a tower against the night sky and full moon. Rian's magic ensnares Sons, lifting him into the air and rendering him completely helpless. Sons screams in desperation, asking why nothing is happening to him. He assumes the boy did all this just to buy himself a few extra seconds. Rian approaches, calls him an idiot, and reminds him of something important. He looks down on him with a serious expression and a contemptuous smile. The protagonist says he talks too much, and now it's time to pay for his crimes. Green energy tightens around Sons' neck, and he begins to suffocate from the magic. He coughs, feeling a terrible pain in his throat, unable to draw a breath. In a panic, Sons realizes he can no longer speak and begins to freak out. Rian reveals he used a magic circle of silence to seal Sons' ability to cast spells. He asks how it feels to be a mage who cannot conjure a single spell. Sons tries to use a purple magic to break free but is unable to cast anything. He despairs for a moment but then remembers he can still cast Fireball without an incantation. Rian explains that only spells up to the third circle can be cast without incantations. Sons conjures a purple Fireball, preparing to attack the protagonist with all his might. But Rian states his fatal error is relying on a mere second circle spell. The Fireball engulfs the boy completely, but it fails cause any damage. With a wicked smile, Sons thinks his father would forgive him for breaking one of the boy's legs, but he is astonished to see that his attack had absolutely no effect. The protagonist's leg glows with a green and purple magic, and he stands there completely unharmed. A system notification confirms he has successfully resisted the Fireball spell. Sons launches another more powerful Fireball, but Rian remains unscathed and mocks him. He asks if Sons genuinely believed he would just stand there and take the hits. The protagonist creates a blue magic circle, preparing to counterattack. And with a single beam of blue light, he effortlessly negates his enemy's Fireball. Sons is shocked to see his magic dispelled with such ease. Rian reveals his mana disruption ability, which can nullify spells instantly. He explains that he can cancel any magic of a preset level, rendering Sons' attacks useless. With his teeth clenched in rage, Sons cannot believe he has been so thoroughly defeated. Sons draws a dagger and lunges forward, but the protagonist is ready for him. He is surprised to see that Rian has easily broken free from his chains. The boy shatters the remaining chains, remarking that they are nothing to him now. He reveals that his magic circles don't stop at just 2, and he has more surprises in store. A third magic circle appears, and Sons is terrified by the young man's power. The paralysis spell strikes Sons, slamming him forcefully to the ground. With a satisfied smile, Rian watches his enemy suffer under the spell's effect. Sons screams in agony as he is electrocuted by the protagonist's magic. The boy approaches, stating that the roles have now been reversed, and he is in control. He looks down at his fallen rival, savoring this moment of sweet revenge. Sometime later, Sons awakens, disoriented to see Rian sitting before him. He groans in pain, unable to move due to the paralysis spell. The protagonist asks if he's awake, then casually comments on the dagger he carries. Sons struggles against the chains, but finds himself completely immobilized. He is shocked to realize he cannot break free from the restraints at all. Enraged, he yells at the boy, only to realize his voice has returned to normal. He notices the chains are made of simple iron, not mana-suppressing metal, which irritates him further. Sons attempts to use his wind/magic to sever the chains, but Rian attacks him, asking if he really took him for a fool to try something so obvious. Sons groans in pain, wondering how the boy attacked him without a magic circle. Rian asks if Sons truly thought he would imprison a mage without any countermeasures. With a smirk, holding a dagger, he reveals he has drawn a magic circle directly on Sons. He then slashes Sons with the dagger, activating the blood magic circle. Sons is horrified and terrified by what the protagonist has done to him. A blood magic circle materializes on his chest, a forbidden and excruciatingly painful art. Rian explains this magic is cast while the victim is kept fully conscious. He recalls that Sons did the very same thing to him when he was only 12. Desperate, Sons demands to know how he knows the spell and why he can wield mana. The young man replies that it is all thanks to the memories and experiences from his life in Aedean. 3 months ago, he focused on leveling up his concealment skill to train in secret. Acquiring other skills was simple, thanks to the secretive circuits he had learned. Every skill has a unique circuit, and mana is injected into it for activation. As a master player, he can perceive these circuits and remembers every skill. Therefore, he doesn't need to study or practice repetitively to acquire a new skill. For him, training is merely a shortcut to rapidly increase his strength. Using his concealment skill, he left the mansion and set up traps to catch Sons. Rian states the magic circle was meant to amplify the pain Sons had planned to inflict. With the blood-stained dagger in hand, he declares that now Sons will feel that very same pain. An explosion of red light illuminates the tower as the protagonist's vengeance begins. Sons screams, pleading for it to stop as the pain from the magic circle is unbearable. Dagger in hand, Rian asks with a smile if they should call it a day. Sons weeps in agony, trying to speak but barely able to form words through the suffering. The protagonist turns his back, and Sons attempts to warn him of an approaching danger. He yells that Patton's men will arrive soon and that Rian must escape. The boy asks how he knows reinforcements are a week away, startling Sons. Rian reveals that he knows Sons ordered his men to return in a week to torment him. Sons is shocked, realizing the protagonist was not unconscious the entire time. But Rian adds that, knowing his personality, he wouldn't have genuinely warned him of danger. With clenched teeth, Sons realizes he has been deceived and has fallen right into the boy's trap. The protagonist mentions the Fatten family's direct unit, the Fingers of the House. Desperate, Sons shouts that he is telling the truth and that reinforcements are on their way. But Rian ignores him and delivers a punch to his face, silencing him for good. The blood magic circle on his chest glows intensely as the torment resumes. The boy tells him to continue screaming, promising not to touch him again for the rest of the day. Sons screams Rian's name, his voice filled with all the hatred and pain he feels. The protagonist prepares to welcome the guests who will be arriving shortly. He must get ready to face the elite of the fattened house, and there is no room for error. A week later, under an orange sky, the reinforcements finally reach the location. The hooded men ask if this is the place, and one of them confirms it with certainty. A week has passed since Sons abducted the boy with no contact since. The team leader asks if anyone else has approached in the last week. The guards report that no one has, and they have been monitoring all passages. With a purple aura, the leader worries that Sons may have gotten carried away with the torment. He grabs his staff, recalling that the order was to bring the sermon brat back alive. He announces he is going in, but a guard tries to stop him to no avail. The leader asserts that the family head's orders are absolute for the fingers. And with his purple magic, he obliterates the dungeon door in an explosion. He decides to enter alone, ordering his men to wait outside. With a stern look, he tells them they would only get in the way